want my legs to tighten toes. Just like it. Hello, 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 hello. How is everybody doing today? Happening. So just finish up some quick tests here. Somebody was asking the sync box, sync times. We do some syncing testing here. I did a bunch yesterday. I started making a video. We'll kind of talk about it here first, and then we'll go on. So there were some patch notes yesterday. I'll quickly read them in a second here. Let's fix this career world here. I still have some silly settings on it I need to fix. Alright, so let's go ahead and we'll check out the patch notes from yesterday, and we'll kind of see what things are looking like. So if we go down here to the patch notes, we have fix zero pressure transfer through doors when in complete vacuum. That would be a space thing. Again, we're in complete vacuum, so that's a space thing. Leak rate issues at equal pressures. You need to read this carefully. It says leak rate issues at equal pressures. Equal. They have to be the same. All right, so people, I think, are still taking that as though if your pressures, if you have a pressure differential, you'll still leak. No. If the pressures are equal, you'll have a leak rate issue. And that's so, for example, if you have exactly one atmosphere inside, exactly one atmosphere outside, the water will leak through. As soon as you go to over one atmosphere inside, the water will start to slow down, and then eventually, if the pressure goes up high enough, it will stop coming in altogether. Fluid backflow issues with vehicle damage leak. This one, I'm not sure. It still seems like we're having backflow issues. I don't know about the seawater across doorways, and I really don't care. I have not seen any fresh water if it comes in, so I think that's fixed. So this is important here. Again, people are taking this as though this is completely still, that nothing changed. I think they're thinking of it as the devs did nothing. It's leak rate issue at equal pressure. So people need to be careful when they read these, that they're actually reading the words. So let's go ahead and take a look at how things sync, how you can make things sync if you're one of those people who needs things to sync all the time. So let's go ahead. I have my sync box going here. I started this. It has a timer on it. It will sync. It's just electric doors on the bottom, electric doors on the top. It has a timer. Tells you, you know, how many seconds it takes before it goes underwater. As soon as it goes underwater, the timer stops. Pretty easy. That way you can go AFK and do tests, which I do a lot of. Oh, you're 35,000 feet up in the air. I hope you're in an airplane and not just up there. Oh, very cool. What kind of airplane are you on there, Alexander? All right, so let's look at some of these tests. So I started making this video. I'll do some more testing today, and I'll make the video. So here is the... so we have two here. This is the ship sync test, no ship sinker 5000. So I made this thing. It's kind of goofy. It's called the ship sinker 5000. It's for those people who are like having a fit that they can't sink their ships. This is a pretty much guaranteed way to sink your ship. So here's the ship with no sink shipper 5000. So pretty simple here. It is a hull. It has, let me recount these. I cut down the number of warheads in here. It was 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 10, 21. So there's 21 warheads in here. There is a liquid meter. There's a gas meter, so we can read both liquids and gases. There is also a barometer inside, so we can tell the pressure inside. We'll even do this. We'll put a barometer outside. We assume that the exterior pressure is 1 atmosphere. Oh, 7879. I've never been on a 787. We have a water dial. This one will read that meter and tell us how much water is in the hull. This one is air. All right, so, and we also have the timer. So this will trigger the bomb and it'll start the timer. Okay, let me check the timer, make sure it's fixed. I think I fixed the timer. All right, so that will count up. All right, so let's go ahead and spawn this. All right, the other thing a lot of people are not doing is they are not ballasting their ships right. I see a ton of people who will post on Reddit that ships don't sink, and they essentially have a styrofoam hull. For example, there are boats that will not sink, IRL. We used to have a Boston whaler, and Boston whalers' claim to fame was you could not sink their boats. And what they would do is in their promotional materials, they would have a Boston whaler cut in half. Let me see if I can find it. And the reason why the Boston whaler would not sink was because it was full of foam. I'm just trying to find the picture. And so, here we go. And so, they would have Boston whalers cut in half to demonstrate that their boats were unsinkable as a marketing device. And so, let's bring this up here. So, there's a Boston whaler cut in half. As you can see, the boat's cut in half. It does not sink. Why does it not sink? Because it's double-hulled and they put foam in there. The foam holds air. That makes the foam itself more buoyant and less dense than the water. Whatever's less dense is going to be on top. So I'll bring up the whole page of these here. Well, you can see there's another Boston whaler cut in half here. So let's see if I can open it and not have it be tiny. So like there's a Boston whaler cut in 3 pieces. Okay. There's one cut in half. There's one cut in half. You know, so this was kind of a thing people used to do, cut their whalers in half for the lols, and the sucker would never sink because the way that the boat sinks is normally you would, if you had no foam in here, the water would get in there, and now you have a bucket full of water, which is, you know, as dense or more dense than the water. It'd be more dense because the water's in there. It's as dense as the external water, and then the hull is more dense. And so there are boats that will not sink. And so you're seeing a bunch of people, they put no ballast in their boat, and then they expect it to sink. Well, you know, these blocks we have in game, they're not really steel. They're more like styrofoam. And so if you consider the blocks to be styrofoam, and let's do some quick, let's see what the, we'll do a little bit of research here. So let's talk about styrofoam. Let's see. Oh my god, if I could spell, it would be great. Alright, styrofoam mass in kilograms. Let's figure that out. Alright. What is the density of styrofoam in kilograms? So 8 to 25 kilograms per meter cubed. Alright, so we're at a quarter meter cubed is what we're, is our units. So we're at 0.25. So let's, so it should be, let me just make sure. Let's do, I just want to get the numbers right. All right, so let's see. That's going to do volume there. So yeah, it'd be a quarter of that. So because it's meter cube, we're using quarter meters. So it says 8 to 25 kilograms. Let's go low end 8, and then a quarter of 8. So divided by 4, be 2, of course. And so we're talking IRL in real life. One block of styrofoam would weigh 2 kilograms. In game, one block weighs 1 kilogram. So the blocks we have in game are essentially styrofoam. Okay, and they're actually less dense than styrofoam. So with that in mind, you know, a lot of people are not ballasting their boats. And so if we look down here, I have proper weight ballasting. Every boat tutorial I've done, you ballast your boat. You put some weight in the bottom of your boat. All right, and so this is adding to the mass of the ship. And so what's going to happen is, let's say the ship needs to take on 40,000 kilograms in order to sink. Okay, the mass of the weight blocks are already in there, and so you don't need as much water. So let's go ahead and we'll do a test. So one thing you're going to notice here, make sure player damage is still off. Player damage is off. Okay. So what you'll notice is, shit, I shouldn't have put that there. Let me just fix this real quick. This barometer is not going to help us here. I'm going to move it. I need to be able to read the barometer inside. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll spawn this. All right, so let's jump on. So first thing we want to do, because I fall into the drink, is to check the barometer inside of the ship. So this is the barometer inside. We're at 1 atmosphere. This is the barometer outside. We're at 0.99. Okay, so they're essentially, and it's many digits of 9. So we're essentially 1 atmosphere inside, 1 atmosphere outside. So pretty simple. If the pressure inside the hull is less than 1 atmosphere, the air pressure is pushing on the water, trying to push it in the hull at 1 atmosphere. So they're essentially equal. All right, and so currently the water will not want to go in the hull. All right. What you're gonna notice is when I blow up the bomb, the air pressure in here is gonna very quickly go down. All right. When the air pressure goes down below 1, we have 1 atmosphere outside pushing the water inside the hull, and because the pressure inside the hull is less than 1 atmosphere, the water is gonna come in. Now we're gonna have a problem. Is as soon as the air pressure inside of the hull exceeds 1 atmosphere, it's gonna stop the water from coming in. All right. And that would, to a certain extent, happen IRL. As the water comes in, it's going to compress the air inside, and that air is going to push back with equal force on the water, and as soon as it exceeds the 1, it's not going to let the water in. All right, you can see this by tipping a water ball upside down. So let's go ahead and blow up the bomb. I need infinite electricity on because I end up blowing up my batteries. All right, so boom. Let's watch this as quick as we can here. So notice, we dip down to about 0.6 atmospheres, and now it's quickly climbing as the water intrudes. All right, so this is probably not going to sink. Notice, we took in about 20,000 liters of water. We're now in excess of 1 atmosphere. So we're at 1.027. Okay, we're at 1 outside. So we exceed the atmospheric pressure. The atmospheric pressure inside the hull is in excess of the atmospheric pressure outside of the hull. So the air pressure inside the hull is keeping the water from continually coming in. So as you can see, it's preventing the water from coming in, at least in great quantities. Now, I've got about a 50-50 sink rate chance. Right now, watch. As it goes below, water comes in. As it goes above 1 atmosphere, the water stops coming in. Notice, we're below. We're going to take in water. We're going to sink. 100%, we're going to sink now. All right, 100%, we're going down. Okay, so this has no ship sinker 5000 in it, and we sink. So again, when you see the 9,000 posts on Reddit that say ships don't sink anymore or the devs did nothing, they did what they said. The problem is people were not reading what they said. People were not understanding what they said. I know it's complicated. I get it. But a lot of these people are not doing tests. Again, leak rate issues at equal pressure. At equal pressures. Okay, we're not at equal pressures. All right. If you noticed what happened there, when we were at equal pressures, it was still leaking water in. The second that we went, when we went above 1 atmosphere inside the hull, the water stopped. When we went below 1 atmosphere, the water started back up again. They have it coded so that as long as the pressure inside the hull is less than the external pressure, the water can come in. Okay? Pretty simple there. All right, so let's go ahead and let's bring this back. Now, I'm getting about probably, I don't know, 50-50 sink rate on this boat. So we're going to go ahead and miss the hull again. All right. So let's jump on. Let's bomb this sucker. It has a timer on it. It's going to tell me how many seconds it takes so we can go do something else. All right, that's blown up. Oh my god, look, the sinking box that people think doesn't sink, sinks. 772. So we'll do the time on that. So 772 seconds. So that one is 12.8 minutes. Now it also depends on the conditions of the sea. For example, if you're moving around, just like, for example, if you take a water bottle and you hold it upside down, the air pressure is going to keep the water in the bottle. Now, if you jostle it, if there's any shaking, it's going to allow air to come in to avoid and get up top and help the water come out. You know, so by shaking it, it's going to help generally more. So we're going to go ahead and blow this one up too. So this is identical to the one over there. Okay. Hopefully the bomb noise and the music are not too loud. Oh my god, look. Ships don't sink. Ship just sunk. Okay, again, people need to think that these blocks are less dense than a block of styrofoam. Okay? Because the blocks are less dense than a block of styrofoam, just like the Boston Whaler, a piece of styrofoam will sink. Or will float, rather. You need to add some weight to your ships. You need to balance them properly. Okay? It's supposed to be steel, not styrofoam. So put some friggin' weight blocks on there. Okay? And you'll notice your ships will sink. I keep seeing them people pointing this out on Reddit as though they've got them that, oh my god, 38 seconds it took to sink the unsinkable ship, okay? You need to read it. They said the leak issues with equal pressures. They were very specific with this. I don't think they're, I think they're very lawyerly in the way that the devs talk now for a good reason, and people will still confuse it. Understandably, it's complex topics, but these are not equal pressures we're talking about. Let's go back and look, okay? We're currently in excess of 1 atmosphere. Let's look at the water. No water's coming in. All right, no water's coming in. Now, when we watch what happens, there we go. If we start to dip below 1 atmosphere, we're going to start bringing in water, and here comes the water. All right, let's see. Does it go above again? It does. Okay. The water stops. If it goes above, the water stops. If it goes below, the water comes in. Now, likely, notice the numbers. We've lost so much air in this hull that the air can no longer pressurize enough to keep the water out. And bingo, we're going to sink. All right. And let's see the timing on this. 38 seconds for the last one and 114. All right. So it's random to a certain extent. I don't want people to think it's completely 100% random. It isn't. The thing that's going on here is, for example, it depends on the wind. It depends on the waves. It depends on how much the ship is shaking, okay? And it makes sense. Again, as you shake your water bottle, it's going to allow more air in there to equalize that pressure and help to, well, in the water bottle, it's pushing the water out. It'll be opposite. It's allowing the air out of the ship. So as the ship shakes back and forth, it's allowing that air pressure to escape. And because the air pressure can escape, it's allowing it to reduce the air pressure inside because some has left. Right? Think of it as marbles. As you shake your ship, more of the air marbles are coming out. And enough air marbles come out, it drops below 1 atmosphere, and it lets more water marbles in. All right, if you get above 1 atmosphere, there are too many marbles in there. You can't push any more marbles of water in until you get rid of some air marbles, okay? So those both are sinking. This one was 38 seconds. This one was 118, I believe, 114, something like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll bring this one back. We'll bring the other one back. I think I have to swim down to get this one too. Yep, okay. And so let's go ahead and let's turn the wind up. Let's go wind to 34%. All right. So let's put in 2 boats. I'll hit both of them, and then what we'll do is we'll see. Okay, that said no ship sinker 5,000. All right, so now we have some wind. Likely this is going to jostle the boat, which is going to allow air to go out of the ship. And we'll see if we have more quick sinking results with this. Let me know if the bomb noise is too loud. Oh, shit, I do have one underneath. I can get rid of it in a second here. Okay, let's go get this one. Jump over the side, you dickhead. All right, there we go. All right. All right, so we've got 2 boats in there. The wind is pushing them around. Let's see if we get different results at 38% wind. All right. And it would make sense. You think about it. See all that damaged hull on top? If we shake, more of that damaged hull gets in the water, right? As the boat is rocking and rolling, more of that hull is going to be exposed to the water. As the waves come up and push water over the hull, more of that water is going to have an opportunity to get in. All right. And she's gone. All right, let's check this one over here. And this one is up against the dock. So maybe this one will take longer because it's resting up against the dock, okay? So let's go check this one here. This one did blow up first, so we'll check the timer on it. All right, 44 seconds. So about, you know, the other one was 38, so it's not too much more with 38. All right, so this one's taking longer. As you can see, it's resting up against the dock, likely holding it steady. Probably going to take longer to sink. Okay, let's go ahead and grab this one. I probably have to swim down to get her. I'm going to just duplicate it. All right, so now some things you can do if you don't want your ships to sink that quickly. Now, again, this sunk in, you know, we have times between 38 seconds and 118 seconds. That's damn fast. That sucks if you're actually like somebody who wants to play this game as a survival game and you don't want to have to worry about, you know, you actually want to be able to get to a lifeboat. You actually want to rescue your boat. You don't want your ship to sink instantly. Okay, remember, this is 21 warheads, okay? So, for example, let's say you wanted to actually protect your boat. So, one thing you could do is, let's delete some more. Let's get some friggin' symmetry on here so you don't have to do it twice. All right, let's delete some warheads. All right, so some warheads, all the aft warheads are gone, all right? And what we're going to do here is we're going to put a partition in, right? Talk about watertight doors. Ships are partitioned for this very reason. All right, now we have a partition in here, all right? So let's go ahead and we'll blow it up. Missed the ship. Oh, you son of a bitch. All right, let's get up there, guy. All right, let's blow this ship up. So let's look at the partition, see if the partition got damaged. If the partition got damaged, it's not going to really work. Okay, good. So the partition is not damaged. So what we expect to happen is this section is going to fill with water, and there's going to be air in the stern, and the air is going to, you know, essentially you're still going to have enough air in the boat to keep it afloat. All right, that's the guess. All right. So let's check this one, see if this one's sunk yet. Likely, again, it was sitting up against the dock, so it's probably being held. Let's check it. All right, so notice our barometer, right? Our barometer is over on pressure. So this is being held by the dock, so this is not really a good test. As you can see, we're stuck up against the dock. So what it's doing is holding the boat high enough in the water that it cannot let more of the damaged sections in to sink. So that's because the wind is blowing this direction. Okay. I'll just kill wind for now. Spawn this one. This is the standard one. We just get rid of wind here because all it's doing is blowing this boat against the dock, which is not going to make the test work. Alright. So we'll let that one blow up. Oh my god, look. Prediction. What was the prediction? Okay. The prediction was we're going to blow up the front of the boat and we put a partition in there. The air is going to be reserved in the stern of the boat, which it is. And it's going to prevent the boat from sinking. All right. There's your Titanic right there. All right. So this was, it frustrates me a little bit. I'm trying to go through this. I know it's complicated. I'm not frustrated with you guys, but I'm frustrated with some of the comments we get of, like, somebody, like, instantly, like, 5 minutes after an update comes out, people be like, look, still broken. It's like, dude, how much testing did you do in the last 5 minutes? You know, and so people are not doing testing. They're not understanding these concepts. I will be putting out a video to help those people. I want people to enjoy the game. I want them to understand these concepts. My fear is always that people are going to quickly complain about this, make a big stink about it, and then the devs are going to say, screw it, let's just go easy mode. And I hate that. I really, like, this is supposed to be the complex engineering game, so I always worry that people are going to, going to twist the dev's arm, and they're going to quickly just go to easy mode. They've done it on a couple things, and it's kind of frustrating, so that's why I'm talking about it. All right. So let's see if that might actually be taking water in. Interesting. Let's check the stern. Let's see if there's water in the stern here. Okay, there's no water in the stern here. Let me check my numbers on this. We might have to move the partition even further forward. This might still be enough water to sink it. All right, so let's go ahead and let's move the partition forward more. All right, so I forget where it blew up. Let's go partition right about, I think here probably will be undamaged. All right, so what we're doing here is we took in enough water in this bow to sink the whole boat. All right, the bow kept taking water in, the stern was not. So let's go like this. Let's plug in... But you saw how it sunk correctly. It sunk how it would IRL. It sunk because the bow took in the water. It sunk bow first. Let me grab a liquid meter. So it is behaving correctly how it should. You have air pressure preventing water intrusion because it's in excess of external pressure. I meant to color this another color, but we'll fix it in a second here. All right, let's color these a different color. So that's there. And oh, you son of a bitch. Give you that. And then blue. Okay, good. So let's go ahead and we'll spawn this up. So I moved. That's fuck. Where's this fucking partition? Okay, we're good. All right, let's spawn this one. So now I've moved the partition further forward. So essentially, what you're doing is the boat has buoyancy, right? As long as the density of the boat is less than the density of the water, pretty basic physics, the boat will float. As soon as the density of the boat is greater than the density of the water, the boat will sink. All right. And so where the partition was, there was enough water in the boat that the density of the boat was greater than the density of the water, and it sank. So what we're trying to do here is move the partition forward and hopefully not damage it, because that will cause it to... okay, so we could go 2 blocks more. Okay. So if we need to. So the density of the density... Oh my God. Because I moved the partition further forward, that means that less water can come in the damage section because the area is smaller. And therefore, potentially, we're never going to get enough water in to sink it because part of the boat will be more dense. So let's go ahead and look at the barometer. Okay, so watch here. As long as this doesn't exceed 1, we're letting in water. Okay, so we're below 1 atmosphere. And hey, look, we're letting in water. All right, watch the gases. All right. The gases will compress and they will also escape. All right. So as the barometer, so notice the atmosphere. See how we're at 60, 0.6? That means that air is escaping through all of these holes. Okay, air is escaping. And we can tell that because the pressure is dropping. Okay, the air is going somewhere. All right. And so we can tell here, if you look at the total gas level, oh my God, it's going down. And look what's happening here. We're filling with water. Now, that bow section still might be enough mass to sink this. If it is, what we can do is remove some weight blocks. All right, so this is actually pretty cool because for the people who just want to shoot shells at a ship and watch it sink and go, yay, that's great, they can do that. All right, the people who want to have their ships never sink can do that as well. And the people who want their ships to sink, but they want to be able to intervene, can also do that. So, for example, let's say that you put a partition every, say, 5 meters in your ship, right? You'll notice most ships have partitions for structural and for water issues, right? Like, think watertight doors in the Titanic. Think about watertight compartments. As long as you put watertight compartments in, you can put auto doors on there. Now, if a compartment gets damaged by, say, a torpedo, the door is going to be busted and it's going to open, okay? And so the room can leak. All right, it's one of the reasons why when I run around my ships, I make sure I shut all the doors behind me. That prevents it from sinking because you're going to have enough compartments full of air that it's not going to allow things to sink. So let's watch this one. This one could still sink depending upon the mass of the water in there. All right, so this one over here, let's check it. All right, so this looks like one of the float cases. So let's watch the barometer. Okay, so my guess would be that if this is still floating, it means that the air pressure inside the hull is greater than 1. And it is. And because of that, the water has stalled out. All right. So because the air pressure has no place to go, right, we've got, we're not sinking. Okay. So let's go. I don't want to ruin the other test, so I'll kick the wind up, see if we can get it to rock and roll a little bit. But let's finish this one off and see if this one will either sink or float. But as you notice, it is behaving properly. The water is filling properly. All right, so look at barometric pressure is now up to 1.19. Okay, so the pressure is too high. It's keeping the water out of the hull. Okay. And so seawater here, we're still getting a little bit in. Notice they did fix the bug. Remember when, well, it said across doors, so I don't have any doors in this one, but I did test it earlier. We're not getting the fresh water anymore. Okay. So as you see, we're getting pretty predictable results here. All right. Let's get in here. This is full of water. Okay. There might be a little bit of space left in here. As you can see, I'll check the numbers here in a sec. So if we look, we have a total capacity of 108,687. Okay, we have a total capacity of 108,687. We have a total of 108,687. So the bow is full. The bow being full is not enough to sink the entire ship. Theoretically, if we were deep enough, maybe it was. All right, but again, you could set your partitions wherever you like. It makes perfect sense that this barometric pressure has gone up, right? Though we're completely full of air. There is some completely full of water. There is some trapped air in there. That water has pushed on the air molecules and squished them together, which is causing the pressure increase. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, this ship sinking stuff is working. I think people are just like not necessarily understanding some of the components. I'm hoping the devs aren't going to do a big reactionary thing because people are concerned that ships are still not sinking. They are, as you can see. It's been demonstrated. It's working logically. You are getting certain situations where they're not, like this. And that is certain air is escaping, certain air is not. What I would probably credit that to is with the explosions is... Let me make sure I didn't actually delete some out. Okay, no, this has them all. I would say the explosions are, to a certain extent, damaging a random amount of blocks. And so, you know, each explosion may damage a different number of blocks, which would make sense, right? Think about you hit it with a torpedo. Sometimes you're going to damage 10 blocks. Sometimes you're going to damage 12 blocks. Well, that extra 20% of block damage could mean the difference between your ship sinking or floating. So keep that in mind as well. And the way that if you wanted the ship to sink every time, I'll bring up the Ship Sinker 5000. So if you're a sinking ship person and you must have your ship sink for your entertainment's sake, you can put on the Ship Sinker 5000. All right. You're putting electric hatches on there, okay? And then what I did was XML the block here. And if you look, let's make sure these are deleted there. All right, so we have 2 blocks deleted here, as you can see. So we have an XML block. It looks pretty, right? Looks like a hull of a ship. It doesn't look like there's an ugly door there. And now let me save this. There it is right here. All right, this one has the Ship Sinker 5000 on it. All right, so when these get blown up by explosives, they will open. All right, so now what's going to happen? If you must have a ship sink for your entertainment, you can take some intervention, put the Ship Sinker 5000 on there. That's going to guarantee the sucker sinks. It's going to make sure there's plenty of air and water coming in and air going out. All right. Watch it call me a liar now and not work. There we go. So now it's going back down again. And this will sink every time, sink quickly. If you must have your ship sink, you can put the Ship Sinker 5000 on there. Okay. And she goes down every time. All right, guaranteed sinks. All right. So as you can see, most of my tests, it was probably 60-40 in the favor of sinking, I would say, with this, with the other model with no Ship Sinker 5000. But, you know, I think people are very quick to jump to the conclusion, dev screwed up, this is not working, before they do any testing. I did hours of testing last night, checked the numbers, ran the numbers, did different conditions, and you notice that things are sinking. Yes, it's 21 warheads. They're 21 small warheads, okay? The other thing is, like, the person who put their post up on Reddit, they show their ship, they don't post their ship, they don't go into detail, they just show, look at how much I blew up my ship, it didn't sink. You have no clue how much that ship weighs, you do not know how much of the exploded area is in the water, you don't know anything about that ship, you don't know how they're venting their ship, you don't know any of these things, so it's pretty hard to, you know, test their example. I would love to have their ship and I'd test it. But as you can see, we have ships sinking. We have them behaving in reasonable fashions. Again, partition, the bow is full of water. The stern is full of air. It is keeping it up like the Titanic. All right, so let's read some chat here. We'll get off this, but, you know, I'm just already seeing a slew of people being like, it's not working, it's not working, it's not working, it's not working. It's working. Okay. I just think a lot of people are misunderstanding the physics, which is understandable. So let's read some chat. How's it going, Citrus? Good to see you, Citrus. Cat in the corner is Sooty. I think you asked that the other day, didn't you? And I answered you. SNB, is that SNB from Tarkov? Hello, hello. How are you? Yep, yeah, SMB. Ships don't sink. My sub works fine. It's hilarious, SMB. People were posting this before. Ships don't sink, ships don't sink, ships don't sink. And I said, well, my sub works. And they go, I mean with warheads. Well, you didn't say it with warheads. If you said my ship doesn't sink when I do damage to it, that's something different than ships don't sink. You know, so, again, some of these people need to be specific if they have an issue, because if you're not specific, nobody's going to be able to fix your issue. I was reading the discussions earlier this morning, answered a couple, and I've got a bunch of people saying my game will only go to 90 and it will not load. Now, I'm, again, no expert in these things, but every one of my drivers is up to date, my game is up to date, my game auto updates, and I've never had a 90% problem. I have enough RAM, I have a good enough internet. Internet shouldn't matter for a single-player game, but I have enough RAM. I well exceed the specs of the game, and I have never had it ever hang up at 90%. And so I have somebody say that my game hangs up 90% problem with the game. Most people, I would say, are getting in the game fine. And so it's if that happens to you, if you're like having a very rare use case where something's happening, that's likely on your end. So it could be you don't have the game up to date. Your files, for example, if you have bad internet when the game is updating, right? It did an update yesterday. So if I were to have a hypothesis, maybe it's wrong. A lot of people, when they have these problems right after an update, if they have crap internet, what's going to happen is, as the game is trying to update, some of the files are going to get lost. And then you have a game that doesn't have all of its parts. And when it doesn't have all of its parts, the game tends not to want to either work right or load. And so, for example, you might have a part of the game, a file missing, that's required for, say, oil. Okay. And your game is running fine until oil needs to be brought into the game. Let's say it's a graphical file, an image file for oil. Then the game calls for the image file. The image file is either broken or does not exist, and the game crashes because it does not have the information it needs to continue. Okay, that happens. And so they'll quickly blame the game where it could have been their internet. So sometimes it is the game, but oftentimes it isn't. Because if you see tons and tons of people playing, no problem, that means that it is likely on your end. So start with your end. So, for example, this is something quick that everybody should do if they have these problems first before going and ranting on the internet, is go ahead, come here, right-click on your game file if you're having problems, go to Properties, go to Install Files, verify integrity of game files. What this is going to do is it's going to reinstall. It's going to verify the game's files are installed correctly. Again, this could be because if you have crappy internet, again, a file gets missed. What's going to happen? Steam is going to verify that all the files are correct. If one of the files is not correct, it is going to repair it, install it, and put it in there. NVIDIA put out drivers on February 13th. Again, that is not a game issue. That is, did you install the drivers from February 13th? So that's another thing that some people will miss and then blame the game. So, likely if other people are not having that problem, it is likely on your end. You got to fix it. It sucks, but it's not necessarily a game problem. All right, hey, look, sunk. Okay, so this works pretty well. I'm going to do a video on this. Kind of going over it, showing what you have to do. Like, for example, if I wanted this sucker never to sink, I'll show you. We'll show you just a couple more examples, and then we'll move on from here. But I want especially people in my community to enjoy sinking ships if they want to. When the video comes out, if you guys see a bunch of people saying XYZ is not working, you can point them to my video and say, hey, look, it's working. watch the video because wrong one. Let's go. That's ship sinker 5000. Let's do this one. So like say you want this ship, this one does not have the ship sinker 5000. Let's say you don't want this ship to ever sink. Okay, we'll just do it real simple. Let's grab all these weight blocks, right? So what's the prediction to make here? All right. The prediction is with fewer weight blocks, more of the water, more of the damaged sections are going to be up in the air and not in the water. If it never goes in the water, it can't take on water, right? If you put a hole in a bottle and the hole is up in the air, it's never going to let water out. If the hole is under the water line, it's going to let the water in. All right. So this one, we should expect, let's look at the side of it. See how much higher it's sitting in the water? So all of this damaged section above the water, it might let air out, but it might not let any water in too. So this one here may not sink, so we'll leave that. And we'll get rid of the Titanic over here. But, I don't know, hopefully that makes some sense to you guys. You know, I've just been seeing post after post after post, you know, look at the devs suck after yesterday, you know, and they keep misreading that line. It says at equal pressure. The water will leak at equal pressure. It will not leak if the pressure is higher. It will start to slow down and stop. All right, so let's keep reading some chat. How's it going there, Amanda? Good to see you. How's it going there, SZY? Sizimizum? That it? Sounds French. Anton, how are you? How are you? Question for you. I ran out of fuel on my career world. What to do? I will send you the video for that. You need to go get more fuel. So, you know, you start with like 5,000 liters of fuel, and then you need to go get more. You know, so you can go to another base and you can steal 5,000 units of fuel. Let's see. Trying to find the video here. Why do you make my life so hard, YouTube? But, yeah, so you need to go get more fuel. You can also buy fuel. If you look in your map, anywhere that has a black fueling icon that says diesel, you can go buy diesel there, or jet fuel, or whatever fuel you're using. You can go buy it. You can also drill for it. So I'll give you the beginner career build series video here that has that. I just edited it, so it's probably up top. Go to the beginning page, please. There it is. Okay. I'll give you the video that details fuel. All right, here it is. All right, so go ahead. This is the video from the new player career build series talking about fuel, but you got to go get it. You know. And the fuel place is on land. There's also one on the water too. The refiner island is in the water. I am. I was trying to finish my TED Talk before I talked to everybody. Yeah, I don't know. I won't go into the education system failing, but, you know. Video is private. Oh, I sent you. There's two versions of it. Sorry, I sent you the wrong version. I keep meaning to delete that friggin' video. That one is private. This one is public. I'm just gonna delete the private one. There. The private one had an error in it. I went back and fixed it, and I made it private. I should just delete it. All right, I'll delete the private one. Make sure I grab the right one. Yep. All right, the private one is now deleted, so there we go. Okay, that's better. Thank you for letting me know. All right, I also did a new episode of the new player career build series. Let me bring that boat up. Shit, I hope I saved it. I'll stick it on there eventually. So crap, I didn't say it. It should be in backups. I hope. Shit, it's not in backup. It's all right. I did minor things to the new player career build series. Anyways, I put out a new player career build series video yesterday. Somebody had asked for that. I'll find their name in a second here. I had made an error in the cooling system anyways when I moved the engine, but because of the pressure major update, two things really change you need to do in a lot of your boats. One, ventilate your fuel tanks, and two, raw water cooling is not working well, and it's because the flow rates are too low. Before, for example, you could do 75 liters in, 75 liters out with raw water cooling. Now the fluid ports are limited to about 10 liters per second. 10 liters per second is not going to be enough for cooling in most applications. So what I recommend you do is use heat sinks and impellers. And with heat sinks and impellers, works beautifully. Every case I've used them on's worked well. But try that one, Zippy. That one should work. Just let me make sure that one works for you. All right, so that's good. Check this one. All right, so this one is still floating here. Again, the damage section is very high in the water line. And what's likely going to happen is the barometer, as you can see, is at 1.06. Okay. Again, remember what the dev said in the bug fix. Water transfer at equal pressures. Okay. 1.065 does not equal 1. 1.065 is greater than 1. So it's pretty basic, likely what their math is doing in the game. If pressure greater than 1, no water. If pressure less than 1, water. Okay, so, and that's simple delta P with pressurization, you know. Simple delta P problems. Okay, so we'll leave that in the world. Let's go ahead and, so hopefully that wasn't too ranty. That was, I'm continually on a daily basis, like 20 seconds after an update, people saying it doesn't work, and then they have some serious flaws in their testing methodology and their understanding of some of the physics. And Tarkov was launching for some reason, and it slowed the game down. So, you know, have some of those issues going on right off the bat, and then, you know, it's the game's fault. And like I said, my fear is just the devs will say, screw it, you know, we'll just make the game easier. And I really hope they don't do that. You know, most of these building games are super simplified, and I'm glad that this one is not, you know. And I would hate to see them, like, you know, somebody was talking in the discussions that, you know, when pressurization first came out, some of the stuff you had to do with nuclear was very realistic and cool, and they made it easier because people are struggling. And so that's kind of the fear, is that they'll just say, screw it, we'll just go easy mode. And I really just hope they don't, you know. I like the complexity of the game the way it is. I don't want them to, you know, make the game too easy. All right, let's see what we want to do here. Let's go ahead and, I can't think about what I want to build right now. Let's go ahead and let's start doing some career. And then maybe we'll bring some people in for some fishing. We'll see about that. Got to play it by ear here. But yeah. So, boat sink. You know, you got to kind of watch your conditions, though. You know, if the air pressure exceeds 1 atmosphere, and I think it's like by 0.02. I noticed the water will still come into about 0.02. So 0.02 is probably a coded hard stop. You know, if you turn the wind up and the ship is rocking and rolling, that's going to give the air opportunities to escape. And if the air can escape, it is then going to drop the pressure. And if the pressure drops, the water can come in. But when the water comes in, what's it going to do? It's going to push on the air. It's going to compress it some more. All right, and then as the ship rocks, more of that compressed air leaves, right? The compressed air wants to go to an area of lower pressure. It wants to get out. You know, it doesn't want anything, of course, but we say it wants it. All right, let's go ahead and check here what we're doing. All right, the fire. We're not going to screw around with the... let's actually do that. Let's go get 3 grand. It'll be like 2 seconds to go get 3 grand. If you look at the screenshot from today, I had the blood boat from yesterday. It's kind of fun. Now, let's go put this fire. Oh, come on. We got to slow down when the boat first spawns in, and then it clears up. So just be patient with that. I broke my ankle again trying to jump on. This base is a little bit laggy, absolutely. I don't know what's causing it. It could be all the containers, but like FJ is pretty good on that, so it could be a couple factors. Could be the people. I'm curious if the hospital's close by. But as soon as we get away from the base, let's actually look. So we're at 48. Let's see how long it takes before we go up in frames. I should have checked SV environment while we were there. Alright, so we're steadily climbing logic frames as we get away from base, which is what we would predict. You know, so as you can see, we're steadily going up. We're up around, we're 54. We're going down a little bit near, so that could be us getting closer to the mission. But the other thing, too, is, like, if you're having some of these issues, if you look at the actual what is used in the MS on here, you can see the logic FPS. It tells you what it's doing. So, like, if you're going to go put a post on or you're going to put a bug report on, it's always good to say, hey, you know, my game is getting laggy. The SV environment is at 100 MS, you know. And that's explains what's going on. And somebody like myself could be like, SV environment, static vehicle environment. It's likely a vehicle is causing the lag. Either it's not optimized or it is stuck. Like if you have two vehicles bashing together and they're blowing up, that's going to cause an SV environment problem. You know, that's how I diagnosed that my ADF add-on was causing problems. Was it was a really bad SV environment, and I shut the add-on off, and the SV environment went away. You know, so now put this fire out. How's the music volume, guys? Is that all right? It's all right. Okay. The cue made me think it was, you were saying it was quiet, and then I the correction. Try not to blow my boat up here real quick. I'm very close to the fire, so I don't want to blow the boat up. So, I just want to start with that because you'll see all day, every day, people are going to tell you that it's not working. And, like, it's okay if, like, people are just like, oh, this one person said it's not working. I'll go test it myself. But often they don't do that. They take that person's word as gospel, and then they immediately will say, oh, game sucks, of course, you know. And it kind of annoys me because, like, it's really not that much of a test to realize that it doesn't. So I'll make the video, and if you guys see people saying the ships don't sink, you can send them to my video, and very much they can watch and see that ships very much do sink and why, and hopefully they can correct it and enjoy the game. You know, I don't do it just to show people are wrong. I try to do it so that hopefully these people can learn, one, that it does work so that they can still enjoy the game, and two, maybe next time they should test something before claiming it doesn't work, you know. Alright, so fire's out. That was $3 grand. Let's see what we want to do here. Could work on, could do a couple things on Tethys. Could grab a couple more missions out of here. I don't have a bed in here. One thing that would be kind of cool is if you strung, let's say, 4 padded seats together, you could lay down and sleep on them. That'd be kind of cool. Let's move. Let's see where we want to go. So, for example, who had the question about fuel? What base did you start at? Who had the question about fuel? Zippy. What base did you start at? Beginner base? We're just going to be moving from base to base here, kind of hanging out. So one thing to notice, Zippy, depending on your seed, this is Refinery Island. Okay, Refinery Island has diesel, buy here. The black ones are buy. It'll tell you what you can buy, diesel, jet fuel, and how much money. Okay, so that is where you can buy fuel. Now, if you start at beginner base, here's beginner base, right? You'll start with 5,000 liters. Every base is primed with 5,000 liters, and you can take it. So you can sail down here, and you can grab 5,000 liters from North Harbor. Even if you don't own it, you can grab the 5,000 liters. All right. But what you want to be looking for is you want to be looking for your Refinery Island. That's where you get all your fuel. So before we had oil drilling, what you could do is you would take a ship out and you would tanker fuel back. So you would go to the refiner island, you'd fill it up with fuel, and you'd bring it back to your base. Now, you can also go to Holt Town. It's not showing yet. Sometimes it takes time for the pumps to spawn in the world. So you won't necessarily see the black icon, but Holt has a fuel depot you can buy diesel from. Over here, right here at Draymore, you can buy diesel here. So, you know, what I would do first of all is you probably need to make sure your boat's fuel efficient enough. So make sure you're building fuel efficient boats. You can come down here and you can get fuel. There is fuel at Holt. We'll go by Holt and I'll actually just no-clip in and I'll show you where the Holt fuel is. But one thing you can do is you have to buy this base to do it, but this one is 60 grand. The other thing you can do is follow my tutorial. It's called adding the custom menu. So if you just search for custom menu, it'll come up. You can add the custom menu too. So if you add the custom menu, you can go to infinite fuel, and infinite fuel will make it so that you don't need fuel. So instead of just like quitting and starting a new game, you can turn infinite fuel on until you can get established. But you know, that's why I made that new player career build series, is hopefully people would watch it, and then instead of running into these problems and getting frustrated, they could just realize, okay, I need to get ready to look for fuel. So that's something you should be looking for very early, is ways to get fuel. With Industrial Frontier, you can drill for oil now. So like I started down here in this series, and one of the first things I did was start getting my oil going so that I'd have fuel. You could also go up here and get fuel, and you could go to FJ and get fuel. So we did that in some of the early episodes of this series, was actually go and get fuel, because you're going to need it. But 5,500 liters is a pretty good amount of fuel. It does, as long as you have a fuel-efficient boat. The problem is, especially new players will struggle making fuel-efficient things. They're just kind of revving everything out, and you know, you can follow some of the other tutorials in that series on making your boat fuel efficient. But that's part of the whole fuel equation, is make sure you're not running a gas guzzler all the time, you know. But like right now, I have no issue ever with fuel. Like it's because we're making fuel. I'm drilling right here for fuel. You know, we have tens of thousands of liters. I just put in 12,777 liters of diesel into Sawyer South here, so. What's going on with this boat? Okay, nothing. It was because I was tabbed. It was started to misbehave for a second there. Alright, so just heading up by Holt Town here. Do we have beginner base? I don't think we do. I might go buy some more bases here. Especially, I want to get into moving some containers. So it's kind of, if we get Sawyer North here, we'll start to have some places to start using Tethys to move some containers. So, you know, I'm kind of thinking long term of my next goals, and so I want to start getting some of these bases bought, make some money, and that way we can go ahead and, you know, we start moving some stuff, moving some containers. Also, we can move some containers via land too, which would be kind of fun. So it'll be a little bit of a trip here. We're going pretty good. We're going 45 knots up, but we're just going to head up the river. We're currently turning this corner right here. I'm just going to show you the fuel pumps at Holt, and then we'll head up and we'll head over to Sawyer North. One thing we could do is make sure no clip is off. No clip is off, so if we do get a mission, it will be close to our position. So there's Mount Goldblum in the distance there. The volcano. I would like to have some more forest fires. I have forest fires on, but you need meteors essentially to start a forest fire, which I think is a pain in the butt. And I do. It does annoy me. The devs say that's an intended feature, so you have to have natural disasters on to get forest fires, which is kind of a pain in the ass. Theoretically, with the custom menu on, I could spawn a meteor shower to get some forest fires. I could use Firebug. But I would like it to like have a spawn chance. Like, you know, all they have to do is put a fire sprite in the forests. That's literally it. Is put it on a timer. Every X number of minutes, you'll get a forest fire, or put it in the mission system. You know, I think that would be pretty easy for them to do and low impact. All right. But does that, let me refresh. I want to make sure that the chat is working here. Nobody's chatted in a while. Yep, chat's working. All right. Does that make sense to everybody, all the sinking ship stuff? I don't want to beat a dead horse, but it's it's comment after comment after comment of sinking still not working, sinking still not working, sinking still not working, and it's you know, I can imagine that's frustrating for the devs too. Is like, you know, they fix something and like literally they do screw up, like everybody does all the time. We all screw up all the time, but you know, it is. I can imagine being obnoxious when they fix something and people are instantly like, it doesn't work. And they're probably pulling their hair out. They're like, did they even test it? It works. You know, we tested it. It works. You know, and, you know, one of the reasons I make a deal about it is I don't want them to waste a bunch of time going back to something that's not broken, you know? And I don't want them to oversimplify stuff because, you know, people aren't understanding it. You know, they could be a little bit more clear. They could have put, you know, if external atmospheric pressure is less than internal atmospheric pressure, water will stop flowing, like basic physics, you know. All right, so we're coming up to Holt Town here. Holt Town should have a diesel pump in the woods, I believe. It hasn't popped up yet, but it should be there. Holt would be another cool place to have a base. There is a fish cellar here. It would be cool if we could spawn. Okay, here it is right here. See this right here there, Zippy? There's diesel gantry, 2 liters right here. You can buy some diesel. So, you know, some people find this annoying, but you can, you know, this can turn into adventures. For example, you can make a gas can. You can make a jerry can that your player character can hold. You know, as you can see, I've made vehicles that hold little cars. You know, you can make some of the, you know, the cool thing with an engineering game, and you're the engineer, is you can engineer solutions to problems. So, for example, I've done this before with jerry cans, where you run out of fuel and you get a jerry can, and you go fill it up so that you have more fuel. You know, and so for example, you could come over here to Holt, and you could run off a jerry can to your boat, and you could buy fuel. So I'm trying to find where it is. It's right there. See it right there, that orange fuel refueling thing. So we'll beach and we'll go get it. Get out of there, you. All right, so here is the fuel. So if I could grab my jerry can, and I could head up here, and there it is. All right, and so you could go here and you can buy fuel, and it's $2 a liter. And here's your fuel. All right, you fill up your jerry can, you run back. All right, so that's kind of fun. How's it going there, Daniel? Good to see you. You know, so you can grab your jerry can and you can go fill your boat up. All right, so let's actually do that real quick. I'll show you something cool we could do. Let's see. Leave that there. Do I have a jerry can? Let me check. So let's do an add-on. Let's see. Where is Holt? Holt. It's in Sawyer. Let's find Holt. That's not Holt there, I don't think. Trying to see if I can see the dock. It's always a pain to try to find the chunk. Where is Holt? I think they're kind of in order. That is sort of north. Let me just check the terrain a little bit. It'll make it easier for me to see it. Right, it is the loop right here. All right, there's a loop right there. All right, let's find it. So you can use the add-on editor too. I see a lot of people not using the add-on editor. You can do that to spawn in things you need. So, you know, again, especially if you're playing solo, you know, play how you need to have fun, you know. And so you run out of fuel, you can always, there's plenty of ways to do it. Add the custom menu, put on infinite fuel until you figure it out. You don't have to start over again. A lot of people really, they get annoyed by that. You don't have to start over again. Just, you know, turn on infinite fuel. Is this Holt? This is probably it right here. No, that's the tunnel. Okay. That's the tunnel. Let's find this hole. Don't want to find it. I don't even know if I have a jerry can, but I need to do this to figure out if I have it or not. So, my God, these are so hard to find sometimes. They really are. Always struggling to find them. Here it is right here. All right, that's Holt. All right, so here's Holt. We're right here. Okay. I don't know if I have a jerry can. Let's see if I made one. No. All right, so one thing we could do, okay, right here. Here's a fuel barrel. All right, I made this. So here, take a fuel barrel, put it there. Okay, now what we want to do is save this add-on. So here is Holt fuel. All right, Holt fuel, save it. Go to load, Holt fuel, right here, test location. And look at that, we just spawned a jerry cannon. Okay, grab the handle. Is it full of fuel? It might be full of fuel. Let me check it. I gotta check it. This thing is old too, so just check. Where's the? It doesn't tell me if you're full of fuel or not. Let me see if it's got fuel in it. I can't tell. It's pretty damn heavy, so I wonder if it has fuel in it. But so, anyways, I won't screw around with this too much. But as you can see, if you needed to come in here, you can spawn that with an add-on. If you don't have the, let me see if I can actually flip it. I might be able to get it to work. Come on, bitch, turn over. Trying to get this to pull. All right, so anyway, you could take your you know, I would prove this, but this was never got finished, so no wonder it doesn't work. But we'll make a jerry can. That'll be kind of fun. Give me something small to work on. And so this one has a hand crank pump on it. It doesn't really need it. Well, it needs it to pump it out, unless you have an inflow system, so you can pump your fuel out. But you would take your jerry can, you would hook it up to the diesel, then you drag it back to the boat, fill up your boat, and then if it's an add-on, you just click back on add-on, and now it's gone. All right, so if you do get in an emergency like that, you can use the add-on editor to do that stuff for free, right? I didn't have to pay for that jerry can. It's gone now. We're all set. So you can do stuff like that. I made a handheld jerry can, but if you won't jump, dude, I'm going to kill you. Jump! He didn't like jumping on that hill. You know, so we'll make a jerry can. That'll be kind of a fun little project to put on boats and stuff, and then we can go ahead and we can fill up vehicles if we need to. But that's a cool little project for when you're starting, is you can do stuff like that. You could also make you can make an add-on that's just a tank full of diesel with a pump, and you could spawn it right next to your boat, fill your boat up if you get an emergency. So kind of have to think outside the box a little bit if you need to, but you know, those are the ways you go get fuel. What's the subject? Oh, so I started the video there, Daniel, on sinking ships and how it is working. Rating comprehension on the update. The update said that it's essentially fluid transfer across equal pressures. People are reading that as though it means that you can still transfer liquid at unequal pressures. You cannot. And so, you know, the sinking ships work, and did a bunch of stuff on that. I will be putting out a video demonstrating how to make sure your ships either sink or don't sink, give you time. I think it is cool. The benefit of this system, and the reason why I don't want the devs to oversimplify it, is this allows people who want ships to sink instantly to build ships that they can hit with torpedoes, they can hit with guns, and they sink. Yay. People who want ships that never sink can make ships that never sink. People who want ships that, you know, that, for example, they blow up their bow and it starts filling with water and they have to run and press a button to close a watertight door, can have a ship that partially sinks, and then they can pump out the compartment, and then their ship no longer is sinking. And so and they can repair the damage. That is awesome. Like, that is what the game is supposed to be about, is, you know, if you bash your ship against the dock, you need, oh my god, shut watertight doors, or have automated watertight doors, and have a build system, or oh my god, I have to go and manually pump out the compartment. That is super cool to me. And you can do that. You can do that currently. It's working. How's it going there, Rasmus? Oh, you like that that very metal thumbnail? Yeah. Thought that was good. Yeah, it's not that much money. You know, for example, I understand why people are like, oh, they should have made it a checkbox for you to need to go buy fuel. I get that. But the kind of the example I use is that used to be an option. You used to be able to click an option and make it so that you could always buy fuel from your base. And when they changed it, it now forces you to have to play with some of the other mechanics. And I get it. I get people wanting that. But sometimes getting forced to play a certain way changes the way you play, changes your thinking. It exposes you to new forms of play, which you may actually enjoy. And even though you initially didn't. And that happened with me was I kept wanting to shut off the insta-fuel at the bases. So before Zippy, the way it used to work was you could instantly buy as much fuel as you wanted from your base. And so when you use the pumps at the base, they didn't have limited quantities. They would pump as much fuel as you wanted. You just had to pay for it. And the problem with that was, you know, people weren't trading fuel. People weren't going to the refiner island. And then we got oil drilling, and so people weren't going to drill for oil. They were just going to sit there at base and instantly have fuel. And so this now incentivizes you to do that. And guess what? If you don't want to, well, you can go ahead, turn on infinite resources. I think, does infinite resources do fuel? I can't remember. I can't remember if infinite resources does fuel in the bases. It might just do money. I can't remember. But, you know, so you can still do it. It's just, you know, you got to click the button. And, you know, so it's kind of, it makes you get into the oil gameplay now, which I don't blame the devs for that. It's like they put all this work into the oil major update, and the last thing they want is nobody to use it. So they say, okay, well, part of the oil major update is you have to actually make fuel now, you know, or you have to go buy it. Like, you can go to Refiner Island and go buy it. Go buy as much as you want, tanker it in. You know, you can go in the workshop. You can you can download a tanker that, you know, holds hundreds of thousands of liters. That's automated. Send it there, fill it, come back. You know. Who the fuck is this? Never. You're a weird one, huh? The long name. Alright, let's see. Alright, we're heading up to Holt North here. We're going to buy it. Or Holt North. Sawyer North. We're going to buy that. It has a fish market, so we might do some multiplayer with the members. Which of the members would like to fish? I don't think I ventilated the tanks on this. Doesn't seem to be a problem at the moment, but it might be a problem later, so I might have to ventilate the tanks. Alright, Anton's up. Citrus, Amanda, Rasmus, you guys want to come? A little fishy here. I made a new when I take a coffee break screen. I'll show you guys that. It's pretty funny. Where is it? There is coffee break. I'm not going on a coffee break now, but I'll show you guys the things for when I do, so that people will know if I'm not moving, what's going on. So this is what the coffee break thing looks like. Have to get some interstitial music. All right, so drink. Hiya. Okay, you can pass. That's no problem. We'll just keep it with the members at the moment. Keep it a little bit less cluttered with and laggy. Let's go ahead. We'll jump up here and we'll buy this base. This base gives us good access. So one of the things that's nice too is I want to be able to drive off some cargo. I never know if I'm going to feel like driving or boating or planing or what. So by buying this, one, this gives me some financial pressure, which gives me incentive to do some stuff. And two, now we can travel from here with containers over to Sawyer South with containers. We can also put them on Tethys and transport them with Tethys. All right, let's go ahead and grab you. All right, good. Let's. I'm gonna go ahead and we'll save this. Make sure we don't have infinite save bug. Nope. I've only gotten that once. I got it yesterday. What I would recommend people do is save frequently. Okay. And notice it's gone. Okay, so I'm curious if the game has a stutter when it's saving and then it goes in infinite save loop. So make sure you're saving frequently. And now notice the save bug is not going on. So if you needed to, if you got the save bug, you can quickly roll back and you don't lose a lot of progress. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and we'll put on the coffee thing as I'll go get a coffee and I'm going to load up the world, but as multiplayer, so. And then I'm going to make a... members, you guys remember the password? It should be in your messages. We'll do the same one. Let me just check the password that I put on there. I'm going to use the same one that I used last time. All right, so that's loading in. I'm just going to go get a coffee, guys. And if members want to boot up their game, I got to fix Steam so you guys can join. Let me make sure that I'm not invisible and that I'm not on Do Not Disturb. And then you guys should be able to join the members who want to join. And I'm going to go get a cafe, and I'll be right back. Right, I have returned, so let's go ahead and... Alright, let's see, any of the members in? I don't know if I can see you guys on the map or not. Who is in? Who's in? Alright, let me take a look at them. What are they doing here? Oh, good. See you later, bitch. You're gone. Alright, see ya. Bye, bitch. Let's see. We'll report all his comments so YouTube has a talk with him. You get to be civil or you get to go away. That's the way it works. Buddy, go away for a little bit. Thanks. Let me just finish doing with this guy. Love it how I tried to delete the bottom comment and used... Can somebody just do 2 quick comments? It can be just anything you want, within reason. I gotta just... It puts the emoji right where the person's comments are. I'm just trying to erase them from memory here. Bye. Some people are children and cannot grow up. And they get the boot. They get the boot. Good. That was quick and easy. Kick somebody in the ass. Oh, who is this gentleman? Look at that. Fine ginger. Who's this fine ginger gentleman? Let me put on some things so I can see. Where the hell is it? Allow nameplates. I see nameplates. Where's your nameplate? Oh, I never do this, so I always forget how to turn all this crap on. Let's see. I like Manda's no name yet still. No, I'm not authing people for the workbench. There's no, you don't need to get in there. And not that I'm afraid you guys would do it, but if I open it up, I'm trying to keep consistent rules. So if I open it up to more people, nobody's getting workbench auths because then they can steal vehicles. And if somebody does that, I'm going to be bullshit. So it's going to ruin the fun for everybody. So I preemptively just not doing it. So that be why. So. Like, I have auth people in one-on-ones, but too hard for me to keep track of it. Yeah, it's gonna lag when I drop the boat in, so. Alright, who is here? Let me see. Okay. Anton, and we got Manda. Okay, good. Anton and Manda. I don't see Anton. What's Anton's 1020? Who's Ginger James Bond here? Trying to just visually see people. I don't like having the name plates on, so I got a Ginger James Bond on the ship, so I'm just waiting for the other person to get on the ship. Somebody came in, a troll. They think they're cute. They're gone now. Ginger's Anton. Okay, copy. No flashlight. Shut that shit off. I forget that I independently control my screws, so my starboard screw is not going. So today is Thursday. tomorrow at stroke of midnight is the deadline for the... We'll just stop here. All right, you start fishing. Fishing poles are all in here. Rods, whatever you want to call them, giggity. So everybody who's participated in India has until mañana at the stroke of midnight to submit their build challenge for India. So keep that in mind. Got quite a few submissions already, which is nice. 6 liters of fuel. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, it's all in the boat. Should be in the boat. I just pulled that bobber back. Nope, fish has got it. Nice. Yeah. Oh yeah. So when you guys had that big bit of lag there, whenever the host goes in the workbench, it lags out the game, because if you think about in a single player game, when you go in the workbench, time stops. That's why I put the timer on all my sinking ship tests. Was that if you go in the workbench, it pauses time, so the timer will stop automatically, and then when you come back out of the workbench, so for example, like when I'm doing sinking tests, I can go build something else, and I can work on a build, and it will still give me accurate results in the timing. So in a multiplayer game, when the host goes in the workbench, instead of pausing the world completely, it slows everything down. So that's why you guys got a big lag when I was in the workbench pulling a vehicle. So that's why I think, like, you know, one of the things people would like to see... Oh, look, Jesus, look at the state of that fish. Good lordy, man. I'm taking a picture of that. Stop jumping around. Oh, put it away. No, it's all right. You know, that's why I think when people want multiplayer workbenches, I think, well, it'd be great. I don't think it's going to be possible for this game. I think they would have to rewrite too much code to do it. And it's just, is it worth it for the number of people who want it? Is it going to cause more problems than it solves? I don't think so. Because I think there are some things that would be very challenging with that. For example, like imagine symmetry. Like you have one person building on the port side, one person building on the starboard side. What would happen to the game if 2 people tried to place a block in the same spot? Would it crash the game? So that's also, I would say, a concern. So I don't think multiplayer workbenches are going to come. It's just, it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of potential disaster for not necessarily a huge gain, frankly. You know, like space engineers, you can do multiplayer building because you actually build in the world, and so you have people flying around the ship building. It's a different style of building. I much prefer stormworks building to space engineers. It was a pain in the ass flying around because, like, if your guy is like, you know, if your guy is moving around too much, you can't get the block right where you want. It's Frustration City, where you know, where it's I think it's much better to have a workbench. You go in there, you can fly around, you stay stationary, you have the camera. It's much better to do it like this, I think. But Manda's definitely not definitely not handling any bombs. So watch the short. He blew himself up. All right, let's catch up with some chat here. Oh, hello, Basilicious. Good to see you. Sorry, I got distracted by troll. By thems which lives under thy bridges. They got thy boot with thy foot. All right, sounds good, Citrus. Yeah, as soon as he came in, I figured he was going to be a problem. Got spidey sense for that. So, I think it's funny though. He didn't cause any damage, and he comes in to be a pain in the ass. It's like, it takes me literally 2 seconds to boot you and delete all your messages. Is it really like you think that's somehow cute? It's not. You know, if you're gonna troll, at least be clever. You know, you can. They're like people have. I've been trolled before, and it made me laugh because it was clever. I was like, oh, good on them. Good troll. Yeah, you come in and you're not clever. It's just boring. I was trying to read chat here while I'm, yeah. Hello, the Basilicious. How's everything going? Good to see you. Great sewed. Huh? What's sewed? Oh, yeah, he got more than mute for 24 hours. He's a gonzer. Is it possible to make a fuel pumping module that will accumulate a certain amount of fuel and then transfer it to the next link? Just explain a little bit more what you mean. So a fuel pumping module that will accumulate a certain amount of fuel. So like say it would take 10 liters, and then at 10 liters it would transfer to the next segment. Something like that. Like, what's your application of it? So I can kind of conceptualize more what you're thinking. See, this is one thing that I should have put in my fishing video that would have been cool is I did talk about it, like having different size fish be different value. But one thing that would be kind of cool for is, for example, we could do a multiplayer thing. I'll read the other chat in a second. You know, one thing that devs could do, which would be kind of cool, is if we had different size fish, you could do something like a fishing competition where you go out, everybody fishes, and whoever gets the biggest fish wins. You know, just be kind of something simple and easy, and it's a way to kind of, you know, quantify who got the biggest fish. You know, and it's just kind of a random kind of thing. People go out, like, you know, you say, okay, let's all go fish for 15 minutes and see who gets the biggest fish. You know, it's not the most, the most detailed of challenges, but it's something fun, you know. All right, let me read the chat in here. Let's see. Ginger is Anton. Okay, I'm gonna get blown apart in 1,000. Yep. About a second snook. Yeah. Okay. Oh, where's the fish? Fishy, fishy, fishy. This one's running. Yeah, so I think we're definitely getting... Well, listen. You can, again, read the context of what the devs have done with commercial fishing. I would say at this point, we're pretty much definitely getting commercial fishing at some point. I think nets are the very last, if ever, type of fishing we're going to get. That would be my guess. It's a guess only. You know, you got to think of it just from... They got to make a convincing net that furls and unfurls, that does not glitch. We do not have ropes in this game that have any physics. Look. I'm trying. Got a fish on now. I'm trying to go through it. Look, this will go through. I gotta do it when I have the fish reeled, and the fish keeps pulling it taut as I'm trying to pull it through objects. But here, let's see. Like, we do not have, like, say the monofilament goes right through the wall, ropes go through the wall. So to have nets, they would have to have ropes with collisions. We've been waiting years for ropes with collisions. Could this be a gateway to ropes with collisions? Sure, but I find it highly unlikely. You know, and so then they have to come up with some sort of, like, probably cloth physics. It's probably the same reason why they said they worked on sales. They were not happy with the results, and they may come back to it. I think a lot of it was with cloth physics. And so, you know, it's a good chance that that's what's going on with nets, too, that there would be the most challenging thing. So, you know, like, somebody literally thought that nets were going to come out yesterday in the comments. They're like, oh, I thought it was going to be nets. And it's like, why? You know, it just doesn't make any sense. You know, I would say the next one, my guess would be we might get, like, a miner for a rod holder. That would be pretty easy because you're not changing the functionality of the rod. All it's doing is it's holding it. I think that would make a lot of sense. If you watch my video, I talk about, like, you shouldn't even have to, like, the rod holder shouldn't do any work. You just throw the rod out. You stick it in the holder. You'd look at the holder. You'd press E. It would put your rod in the rod holder. And then the fish would get hooked. So now let's imagine the rod is in the rod holder. And so I, as a single player, could... Oh, there's a fish. Coming up like Jaws. I, as a single player, could put 5 rods in the rod holders and leave them. And then, so let's say this rod's in the rod holder. And wait for the fish to get on this one. He's going to get it eventually here. All right, so now he's on. Okay, so let's say the rod is still in the rod holder. Well, he's going to run with it. So here he goes. He's running. Okay, well, now I can tell there's a rod on. So I come over, I press E to pick my rod up, and I reel it in. So now I have 4 other rods in the rod holders, and they're all catching fish. So that would cut down the downtime. And then if you have multiple people, you could do that. Then that would lead to trolling. And so now let's say, okay, I got a fish on. We put the rod back out, cast, rod holder. Now, oh, look, this one's already caught. Now I'm reeling this one in. So it would cut the downtime down if you wanted to be a little bit more engaged. So rod holders, I think, would be the easiest and the next potential thing if they do it. I think pots are pretty easy. We already see we have fish attracted to... we have them attracted to the lure. If they get close to the hopper, they get put in the hopper. So essentially, all you have to do is color a hopper, do new art on a hopper, and make it attract fish. So now, if the fish get close to the hopper, that's called a pot, they get drawn into it, and it's just like a lure. They get drawn to it because it's baited. And so you have a baited hopper. It looks like a fishing pot. The buoys could be problematic, but not really. We have the lures, and we have monofilament lines. So if they made the monofilament, say, 3 times is, increase the gauge of the monofilament, so it's 3 times as thick, change the color maybe, and then put a buoy on it, right? Maybe you pick the pot up in your hands, you press left mouse button, and he throws it like 5 feet, and then it spawns a rope just like the rod does with a buoy on it. And then when you grab the buoy, you can hook it to the winch and reel it in. You know, I think that would be really cool, and I think that's within the realm of the game possibilities. Yeah, so I'd say probably rod holders would be probably next maybe, and then pots as far as simplicity and ease of use. But we're going to have the Q&A on this 22nd, so that should be interesting to see. I think that with some rules, multiplayer building would be possible, like prioritizing players. Yes. Yeah, I just mean that like they would have to make some big changes, and I don't know if that's what they would do at this point, make those kind of big changes. But I think, yeah, you could do it. Like prioritize the host over the secondary person, so that if the host is trying to place a block, the secondary person cannot. That would make sense, Rasmus. Yep. Exactly, that makes sense, yep. Name, surname. Or if I mark block, it would be locked by the players. Yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd be another way to do it. Good. Threesome crafts will remain and continue to... Okay. Threesome crafts will remain and continue to pump the accumulated fuel while player was nearby. Interesting. Yeah, I'm trying to decide, like, what are you actively trying to do? You're trying to move fuel, so let's see. Possibly make a fuel pumping module that will accumulate a certain amount of fuel and then transfer it. So, for example, let's say you did this. So you have tank 1, you have a pump. You read the value of tank 1. When tank 1 is in excess of... So when tank 1 is greater than X number. So let's say the tank holds 10 liters. When tank 1 is greater than 10, pump 2 would turn on. And that would transfer the contents of tank 1 to tank 2. Something like that you could do. You know, you essentially, if you know the value of the container, once it reaches a certain level, it would then pass it on. So that's pretty much what you'd have to do, if I'm understanding what you're asking. Actually doing pretty fast on these fish here. So I'm interested in seeing the performance of this fish vacuum, because it is, this is a reasonable sized height for the dock. FJ's insanity. There we go, fish on. Yeah, but I think the rod holder, frankly, should be next. It's super easy. Caught a second snook. Okay, let me see. They just read some chat here. I got 2 chats going. 9,000 liters of fuel in my fishing boat with 2-cylinder. Oh my god, 3x3s. Yeah, I'm amazed by like how overpowered people will make some of their craft. Like I have no craft that have a 5x5. Nothing. Not a single one. Triton has 2 3x3s, 8-cylinder 3x3s. That's what Triton has for engines. You know, and so like I see people putting 3x3s in their semis. I'm like, oh my god, that's enormous. You know, like I'll put a 20-cylinder 1x1, and the benefit of a 1x1 is you can actually choose where you put stuff a little bit better, so you can configure it to fit the space better, I think. You know, like I've done a couple 5x5s, but like I don't have anything operating right now with 5x5s. I just think they're enormous. Don't need them. You know, the biggest boat you can build in a non-XML edited workbench is like 51, 53 meters, something like that. It's not all that big. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. I would like to see some survival mechanics. I'm curious if they plan on doing anything with farming. You know, if you look at some of the hints they've done previously, like for example, we got the spaceport here, Clark. Was it Clark? Clark on the Industrial Frontier well before we got space. You know, there were hints to Industrial Frontier before Industrial Frontier came out. And then if you remember the great controversy of 2023 when they dared to add some animals to the game and people freaked out. I'm curious if part of the reason they added all these animals were to add some sort of you know, interaction with animals. Does somebody keep walking into my character? No, okay. It's probably just a multiplayer desync thing. It looks like Citrus got a fish on. He's got his old fish hat on. What's that? That's a cool looking fish. Looks like a tuna. You know, I think trolling would be something else they could reasonably quickly add. You know, it's a balancing act because a bunch of the community has asked for the devs to do, you know, smaller, more reasonable, less impactful updates so that the game doesn't get borked right off the bat. And I think that's kind of, and then, you know, some of the same people were complaining when the devs released one small item for the fishing major update. I think fishing is a major update as a concept, and I think it will get parts added over time. They did something similar with oil. They added some parts later, you know, and the benefit of it is it doesn't break too much crap at once. You know, if the devs add too much too, if something does break, they have to dedicate all their time to fixing that thing. Where if my lure is too close, it's gonna the fish keep running away from us. You know, so by doing it little part at a time. For example, you know, can anyone notice any issues with the fishing rod? I can't. Like one person had a complaint that was their hobby horse for a couple days. They were like, you know, oh, when you drop the fishing rod, it doesn't orient properly, which is pretty minor. I can't really see anything. It still says welding, I think, on there, but those are super minor. And then, you know, so once fishing rod is working, they can move on to the next thing. And then if that thing has any problems, they can spend time working on that one thing. If they dropped 200 different types of fishing and 20 of them have problems, you know, they're going to have to spend all their time fixing things. You know, they might have to have us start a new game every time a new mechanic comes out. It's a pain in the ass. Where by doing it piece by piece by piece, I think it's greater chance. And also, just from a psychological perspective, you know, it's kind of the whole thing politicians talk about is, what have you done for me lately? Is a politician could do some great things, and if they do it all at once, people say, what have you done for me lately? If they do one thing and then they wait a month and they do another thing and then they wait a month and do another thing, you say, oh, this politician has done all these great things, because, you know, it's human nature. The new thing is what gets your attention. And so if they drop it all at once too, it's like, oh, what have you done for me lately? And so by dropping something, then maybe a month later dropping something else, you say, ooh, a new part, ooh, and it gets people. By the time somebody's getting bored with part one, part two comes out. you know, if that makes sense. So it makes some sense. They kind of, you know, string some things along. Yeah, exactly. The context, like Daniel's case talking, of course they were released the nets before the Q&A. You know, the Q&A is February 22nd. They announced that they were going to do a Q&A, you know, back around the fishing update, and it's like, it makes sense that to release stuff after the Q&A. You know, get the Q&A going, you know. Just reading that chat there. Yeah, I want to make my own radar. I found one on the workshop that I really like the look of, and I want to make it myself, but I have to like dive into Lua. So I kind of want to teach myself a little bit, then I'll contact Rasmus and Basilicious and if I need some help. But I try to work through a bunch of that stuff myself, and part of the reason is like I ADHD big hardcore when somebody's trying to teach me something. But if I do it myself, it's ingrained in my brain. I never forget it. So I kind of start by myself, and then I'll ask for a specific thing, you know, and that way I think that sometimes works better for me. Yeah, it's funny. Like Raptors is exactly on 30K. He asked me, is it 20? Is it less than 30K or is it 30? You know, less than or equal to 30K? And literally, it's on 30. I'm like, sometimes like you'll have people that they'll make a pickup truck that costs 250,000. I'm like, how? Like, how are you wasting so much money in this thing? And it's a lot of times they'll put the HUDs all over it, and those are expensive. It's usually excess decoration that causes a lot of cost, but yeah, that's why you put a cost limit on there. That again, it kind of shoehorns people in. It gets you to start thinking about those things, and for it makes sense. Like, you know, if we do 80 fish here, it's good money, but it's not, you know, it's not insane money. And so to spend 250 on a boat, like, you know, you guys saw how long it took me to get enough money just to put Tethys in. You know, we're on episode what 49, and it's been, you know, the last few episodes I had enough money for Tethys. You know, and Tethys cost like 280 grand. Imagine you have a tiny little boat that all it can do is fishing, and it costs that much money. It's like you're gonna have to work forever in career, and that's kind of why I put those limits on there, is so you can actually use the thing in a career game. You know, if it's a $30,000 boat, you start with 20. You have to do a couple missions, and now you can use everybody's boat and go do fishing if you wanted. You know. Yep. Yeah, I think doing it yourself. For example, I think I was talking about this the other day when I taught myself how to do ADF approaches, and I was like, you know, I learned this when I was a student learning how to fly, and when I was a flight instructor, I made sure I kind of used that knowledge to, or use that experience when I was teaching people. Was the worst place to try to learn how to do something as far as conceptually is in the airplane flying. There is too much going on, and you are constantly doing 20 things at once. And so, like, some flight instructors would try to teach you a complex concept while you're flying, and your brain is occupied with too many things. You're not gonna learn. You're not gonna remember shit. And so the best thing to do is to, you know, do it in the classroom environment. So like certain things I wouldn't even bother teaching students in the air. I'd wait for the classroom to teach them. And so it was like when I remember one of my instructors would was trying to teach me an ADF approach in the plane, and he was getting jerky with me that I wasn't picking up the concepts, and so I went and taught myself how to do it, and I went in the computer lab, and I flew the approach on Flight Sim, and it cost me no money to do it, where it was like $250 an hour to learn in the airplane, and I taught myself how to do ADF approaches in 2 hours. And then went back the next day, and we did the approach, and I did it perfect the first time. He's like, "Oh my God, who taught you this?" I'm like, "I taught myself." You know, and that's why I remembered it. Was I just kept running over it and checking it until it worked, and then reverse engineered it, learned it, and never forgot it. You know. Trying to catch up on Chate. For multiplayer, make a checkbox only the person who has spawned the vehicle. Yeah, that would be good. Yep. Oh, you like that? Thanks, Pin Throttle. Yeah, that was. I thought that was good. I really liked the the blood spray, and all it could make me think of was Metalocalypse when the cook gets thrown into the rotor blades. So I put the metal font on there. There's a helicopter going over. Yeah, exactly. Get some of the basic understanding of concepts like the so like I'll start at some point making my own radar and then like ask for help when I need it. But like I can draw the circle and I want to be able to animate the line, the sweep line, and go through that and I can ask for help for some of that stuff. But it's I need to kind of I'm all right with some of the Lua. It's just I need to kind of like get those concepts ingrained and then move on from there. But it's also like, I spent hours last night testing out the sinking ship stuff, and to a certain extent, I find that to be a better use of time than me going and making some snazzy screen, for myself. So sometimes I'd just rather build something than do it. Than do a bunch of Lua. That's one reason why I'm not too great at it. It's just I don't spend the time doing it. What was I gonna check? I was gonna check something. Let me see. You can. Oh, you want the spear gun? I'll go get you that. I was gonna actually advise if somebody wanted a spear gun here. Can I no clip and not screw you guys up? I think I can. Yeah, I can. Okay. When you no clip over to the workbench, Citrus, it's probably gonna pause everybody's game while I'm in the workbench here. Oh, there's a diving suit on the boat there, Citrus. Just grab that one for now, and I'll bring you a spear gun. I'll put a spear gun on that boat at some point too. I just have to remember. Oh, okay, yeah, that boat doesn't. Oh, shit. Alright, I'll bring it back. Here, Citrus, you want to come over and grab this diving suit and the spear gun and ammo? Just put the diving suit on first. You should be able to swim down there. You want the other one? You want the scuba or the diving suit? Probably scuba. Let's grab the scuba. That way, yeah, just swim down, get that first, and then... Okay. Oh, was I? Okay. I know. Well, you know why I was swimming? I no clipped. I was swimming because I was still in the water and I no clipped. You no clip, your body stays where it was. So, actually, maybe I don't know what happened there. It's interesting. Hashtag more expensive than Cap's boat. Yeah. Most people make their shit more expensive than my stuff. Let's see, we're at, is 80 max cap, I think, on this boat? Yeah, 80 is max cap, so you have to fill your own inventories. And then just let me know when your inventories are full. We'll go empty. Main question is whether fuel will continue to be transferred between modules beyond the despawn. Oh, you're trying to do oil pipeline. See, that's what I was trying to get out of you, is what are you trying to accomplish? So you're trying to cheese out a pipeline, essentially. I know you can do it. I think a bunch of people have done it. I know. I think 454 did a pipeline. You could probably watch. I think they did a video on the pipeline. So go ahead and watch that. Yeah, they changed all that a while ago. Let me see, hospital ship logo, where is it? That's been changed for a couple weeks there, Amanda. They changed that 2-3 weeks ago, something like that. I'll check. I see what you're saying there, Vlad. Yeah, that's what I need. I just need to like know what you're trying to accomplish. So like an add-on pipeline, essentially, to steal money. Yeah, 454 did a video on he did a pipeline, so maybe that's what you're looking for. But you know, as long as you have keep active blocks, the add-on should stay in the world, and you should be able to keep pumping. I'm not a huge fan of doing that, just because if I'm gonna print infinite money, I might as well just turn on infinite money. That's just why I don't like doing it. But like, for example, if you wanted to go, so here is my, where the hell is it? Right here. Here is my oil rig. So theoretically, I could go chunk to chunk to chunk with a pipeline and come over to FJ. So theoretically, I could do that, you know. Yeah, well, that's good. You know, that you're enjoying career. You know, I think, you know, a lot of people, they don't give career a chance. I keep saying it, like, it's often the I'm bored crowd will say, I'm bored. And you're like, okay, well, are you playing a career? And they're like, no, I'm just do custom. And if you can always spawn anything you ever want, well, then of course you're going to get bored. If you have to work for it, it gives you a sense of accomplishment, and that makes it a lot more fun, you know, I find. You know, it's those restrictions. By having some restrictions, self-imposed or otherwise, you know, really makes it more challenging and gives you a sense of reward. All right, guys, pull in lines or don't send any more out, and we'll go in and we'll dump some fish. All right, so it says equipment fishing rod now. People are still complaining that it said welding torch, but I see it says equipment fishing rod. Does it say it in the editor, maybe? Might still say in the editor, I don't know. I think it's minimal of all the things for people to complain about, though. How's it going there, John Deere guy? Hello, hello. What's going on with the green today? When I started playing the game, it was a career mode only. I got into creative later, and it was worth it. Yep. Yeah, you know, I like using career for testing and for building because, like, you know, if you lose fuel every time you, you know, you put the vehicle back in the base because of the piping, that can be annoying, where if you just have essentially the ability to, you know, you can test easily, and then you get in your career game and you can start to be a little bit wiser with it. All right, so just leave it right, make it above the rail line. Actually, go up and to right. Go up and to the right. Up and to the right. Derecha. Derecha. Just go to the right here. Can you yacht to the right? AD. There you go. So go, keep going right, keep going right, keep going right. All right. Let's go starboard screw. Just keep it where it is for now. Just don't move it. Keep it where it is, please. Stop up. All right, there we go. All right, down. Down, down quickly so we can stop the boat from moving. Down, 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 down. You gotta put it down or you gotta get off of it. Put it down, there you go. All right, down. Down, down, down. Down. Put it right on top of the ducks. All right, there you go. You're sucking it up now. This makes a sound now. I don't think it was making a sound before. There we go. Get a picture, guys. Just stand still for a second. I'm going to get a quick screenshot. There we go. Look at the camera. All right, there we got Ginger James Bond and got military green pants here. Making the slapping noise, which I don't know how I feel about. Alright. Nice. It was working for me earlier. Let me try it out. The spear gun. So the power of asymmetrical thrust. Oh, there he is. Yeah, it might be. There might be too much desync for you to do it. Drop that stuff, Citrus, and I'll go test it out real quick. Alright, I just got this one. Let me just grab them. Alright, yeah, it's working for me, so it might be desync. Let me drop it. Is the if the fish are a fraction off. Maybe your aim sucks too. Here it is. I'll drop all this stuff back for you. But there's a pike, so worked for me, sir. Could be user operator error, you know. Oh, you need some. You're almost out of air too. Operator error. It sounds like. So yeah, I'll probably add some scuba on this too, so that we could. Oh, I need to get a fishing rod. Maybe I'll finish up that air. Oh, you got it on here. Right here is the spear gun right here. Front on the bow, there's another. Here, I'll drop the spear gun. Oh, you're good. You should have plenty. There's plenty of shots left there. But yeah, I think fishing was a good update. It's nice and relaxing. It's good. It's good to do multiplayer like this. Like, a lot of people are just like, this is, how many people are in Europe? We got 3 people in Europe playing with me on the East Coast of the U.S., and we're playing fine. It's just, I think sometimes the expectations of going on a public server, like, for example, in Tarkov, I can't play on European servers. I get kicked because of my ping. I would not be able to play with somebody in Europe. Likely I would get kicked by my ping, and I would have desync the entire time, and that is a much more expensive game, that has a lot more resources. They spend hundreds of thousands of dollars every year on servers alone in Tarkov, and they can't even get it to be perfect, so it's like, I think sometimes it's just, and again, part of this, like, I saw it on the comments on yesterday's update, was people like, when are you going to optimize multiplayer? It's like, a lot of it is, when are you going to optimize your builds? Because sometimes people's builds are so unoptimized. Well, it's the devs can't control how we build our builds. And so they'll blame the game for their builds are this way too much decoration, way too much logic, and you're trying to have it go literally halfway across the world, and you have thousands of pieces of logic being computed per second for somebody's build, and then people will be like, oh, it's laggy. Well, of course it is, I read some as Chate. How's it going there? Oh, good to see you. Good to see you. The era. Yeah, ping in a shooting game is brutal. Like, that's a shooting game really needs to have proper hit reg, or else it gets miserable. Like, the difference between missing a headshot and not, like, we used to have big desync problems with Tarkov. It took them many years. It took them years to fix it. And it's one of the most popular games in the world, and it took them years to figure this stuff out. And say a small game like this, to be able to get it on the first try is highly unlikely. Alright, let's not do that and crash my game, please, Amanda. You do a bunch of duplication bugs, all you're going to do is crash the freaking game, so let's not do it, okay? Behave ourselves, please. I don't want the game to crash. This is my career game. Then I have to start over again because of it. Yeah, that could be why service crashed too, is people start doing things like that, duplication bugs, and then they grind the server to a halt, and then, you know. Yeah, we already had a troll in chat. Now all you need is one troll in like a multiplayer server, and you're screwed. You know, that was when I used to mod on a Armor Life server. You know, we would have people come in and do DDoS attacks every day. And it was like, shit like that. Some people just want to watch the world burn, and they come in a server, and they're just like, oh, I'm going to spawn like 20 Titanics, and I'm just, screw stormworks, I'm just going to make the game miserable, you know? There are a couple people who hang out on Reddit who, their whole job is just to bitch about the game, and, you know, and it's just, that's, like, they stopped playing years ago, and they still come in just to be trolls, you know? And it's like, imagine if they do that on a multiplayer server. You know, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy where they, to prove their point that servers suck, they'll go and ruin the server and say, yep, look, it sucks. You know. So you get that behavior too. It's like, it's why any sort of public server is just like, is a disaster, frankly. That's why, like, hosting a game like this with people that, you know, that I trust and I can have some control over, you know, it's you can actually keep it reasonable. Talks do everyone like a disappointed dad, lol. Eh? Is that English? Talks do everyone like disappointed dad, lol. Okay. Inhaling some sausages. It is funny to watch a dog slurp something down that it's not supposed to have. They can make any sort of item disappear instantly. Fish thief. Be cool if there was like a mounting box where you could mount the fish too. You get a good one, but you'd kind of want to have different fish weights and sizes for that. Would be kind of cool. You know, that kind of thing is good for decorating, you know, your ships or decorating your home bases. Be kind of cool. How's it going there, Walter? How are you? I missed the chat in here. Let's see. Best part about fishing is stealing fish. Exactly, yeah. A little bit of competition element to it. But, you know, there's a chill way to play, too. It's like you can have a couple friends on and just do this is nice. That's good. Glad you're doing well, Walter. Oh, somebody stole the fish again, I see. Yep, there's one. I got one. I think they did a pretty good job with how long it takes to catch a fish, and it is still kind of cool that, you know, you do get some nibbles and you're waiting, but it's not like I think it would become tedious if you had to sit here and like make sure you make sure you hook the fish. You know, that could have been tedious. So I'm glad they did it this way. You can kind of just chill, and once a fish is on, a fish is on. So good balancing on that. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, put your multi-waypoint nav. What's your multi-waypoint nav look like? What's your screen look like? Basilicious. I'm trying to make mine old school. Let's see if I can find like an old. I want to make one for Tethys at some point. Kind of want to look old school, so I'm trying to kind of find something to reference. Like, so this is the way that a lot of the airplane FMSs do it. So kind of this is what I'm going to end up doing on my boat. Let me see if I can find this. So kind of like that system. That's what I'm going to put in on Tethys. Something like this. So like this is what I'm thinking is something like that where it just puts the points. So it would have the name of the point. So it'd be like waypoint 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it would have the waypoint in degrees, X and Y. And then it would tell you, the distance. So it might tell you the distance from your, like if this is waypoint 1, it would tell you the distance from where you are presently to that waypoint. So say 2 nautical miles. And then it would tell you the your ETA. And then it would have the next one would just tell you the distance from waypoint 1 to waypoint 2 is now 10 nautical miles. And it would not tell you the, it might tell you ETA from here to there. So that'd be kind of neat. I'd probably do something like that for mine. Should be pretty easy for me to do myself on that one. Because it's just, I easily can get the information. I just need to plug it in and just have it display it. So kind of want it to be old school. For example, a lot of people think that with complex like airliner, that it has these moving maps. It doesn't. It does to a certain extent. This is what a complex airliner's moving map looks like. It's all black with just waypoints. Like you're flying by instruments. You don't need like lakes and mountains and towns. You don't need any of that crap. This is what it looks like. It's just a black screen with waypoints on it. And that's your plotted course, So it's very simple. Like you're talking professional pilots. Like if you look at like the Garmin 1000, and the reason the Garmin 1000 looks like is pretty much if you have an airliner, you have to be instrument rated to fly an airliner, pretty much. And so because you're instrument rated, you don't need to visually see the ground because that's VFR. You're not flying VFR. You're always on an IFR flight plan. And so, like, if you look at, like, the Garmin 1000s here, this is what the screen looks like. You have all this terrain information. You don't need that in an airliner because the pilots are all instrument rated. Where, like, a lot of general aviation, the pilots could be just VFR rated. And so, they need that VFR information. They need the VFR sectional on there where instrument pilots, we don't need all that ground information. We don't care about it. We don't want it. Don't need it, See what this chat was. Are you using a camera to put it on a 1x1, or are you able to shrink it? Oh, was it not capturing the window? It showed it on me. It showed it. Interesting. Okay, nav system and showcase, thanks. Currently making auto air-to-air refueling autopilot. Oh, interesting. That's cool. Let's see. Do you try to XML impeller pump to make true turbo by exhaust gas? Currently, it's not possible. I hope the devs will do it. It wouldn't surprise me if they're going to go back and work on some of the... so they did the pressurization major update. It wouldn't surprise me if they revisit it and add some cool things like pneumatics. So I certainly wouldn't put it past them. Let's look at Basilicious's screen here if I can drag this. Alright, so this is Basilicious's screen, so that looks cool. Yeah, it looks good. That's the plan view, and then we have with waypoints. Yeah, I like that. That looks good. Yeah, it looks really good. Yeah, I like that. That looks good. That looks really good. Why is my dragging windows today has been brutal? It just doesn't want to drag any of the windows. Oh, I got a fish on, huh? Yeah, that's one of the nice things is like you can really kind of AFK a little bit in fish, which is nice because it's you know, it's good to have elements of the game where like you really need to pay attention the whole time, and then also you can kind of like just friggin' chill out and take a break because you know it's like a game like Tarkov. I cannot, you can't get up to go to the bathroom. You know, in a game like this, like if you're fishing, I could get up, go get a drink, go to the bathroom, do whatever I need to, and the fish will stay on the line. It's not like you have to sit there and set the hook every time, and you know, so it kind of it's a good bit of balance. There's parts of the game where you got to be very involved. There's other parts where you don't. Let me see what. When adding custom menu to my world, I make the date 2023, and one more time. I see. And the game crashed. Yeah, that's probably best not to do that then. Yeah, a lot of games have no patience for any 9/11 stuff, so it does not surprise me. Yes, tomorrow's the last day of the challenge. Yep. Yeah, I guarantee somebody's going to be like, I thought I had till Saturday at midnight. No, this is the way dates work. Let's talk about that now so I can hopefully prevent anyone from, yeah, but I worked so hard on it. Yeah, but you missed the deadline, you know? So let's go ahead and look at it. All right, we'll talk about how time works. All right, so here's the deadline. February 17th at 0000 EST. Okay. So the way the clock works is 0000 is the morning. Okay, so at the first second of the morning this Saturday. Okay, so today's the 15th. Tomorrow's Friday, the 16th. Okay, the last second of Friday is going to be 23:59 and 59 seconds. Okay, that is the last second of February 16th. So the first second of February 17th is when it is due. So at the first second of February 17th, I will be closing the challenge. I inevitably get somebody saying that, oh, I thought it was Saturday at midnight. No. 0000. There's a reason I do 24-hour time because it's clear. 24-hour time tells you that 0000 is the first second of that day is when it is due. So that's why I do it that way, is to be specific. And inevitably I get somebody who has a problem with it. So that's why I'm being extra clear with that, is I want people to, you know, not miss the deadline. So. My steam train needs... Oh. Oh, that's cool, yeah. Some of those, like, I would love to have some small steam parts because I really want to make a tiny little steam, like, skiff. And that you have to, like, feed it coal by hand, and you have to, like, turn the valves by hand. Who was it? Oh, I forget. He used to put a bunch of builds up, and I can't remember who I'm thinking of. But he made one where, like, you had to manually turn the valves to go different speeds in the train, which was really cool. You know, and that's, some of that manual control is kind of fun. I finally ordered a new mic for my... The problem with this headset is it has a mic that you hook in and it does all the audio, and now it's like the connection's getting bad, so it's like
Like one ear will drop out, and then I get like the mic will get crackly, and so it's a pain in the ass. So I ordered a new one. Hopefully it doesn't. It's not too bad. There is a fishing add-on available. JSI made one, but this regular fishing is part of the game. Oh, cool. That's neat. Yeah, small Steam stuff would be really cool. You know, there probably is. I'll look at the bug tracker and see if there's a request for small Steam, and I'll start and you know, I'll put it on the bug tracker Discord and see if people do it. Here, let's do that. I like to go on the bug tracker on a daily basis, just kind of look at it, see what's going on. All right. So bug tracker. Please increase pump flow rates, I beg of you. This should have nothing to do with the pumps. Like literally, you can push in hundreds of liters per second now. They're probably not venting the air. Senseless oil spills. Interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, the oil spills need work. Absolutely. What? Okay. They consolidate. This guy doesn't want them to consolidate. Railway offset. This is interesting. Somebody was saying that railway, there's a collision problem, so I'm interested in that one. Oh, interesting. So, yeah. Oh, look, there's my thing. Alright, so we're back to mine. What was the thing I was looking for? Small steam. Small steam components for small locomotives. There we go. I'd suggest adding a set of smaller steam parts that would use less coal but would provide less output. This would allow small locomotives and boats to be created that whilst the power output wouldn't be great, they would be great on coal usage as the trade-off. The firebox would be the same size as the small one. I would make it smaller, personally. But a smaller version of the boiler that would use less heat to get warm, but would produce less steam output. For some reason, the current small fireboxes uses slightly more coal per hour, according to whatever, than the regular one, while putting less. Yeah, so I agree with most of this. Yeah. All right, so I'll put this on the Discord, and you guys can support this. Again, search. It's the best thing to do is search. Yeah, if you don't search, you're just duplicating, and it just makes more work for everybody, and it's not helpful. You know, this stands out that it has a bunch of stars on it, so I'm very much a proponent to, you know, star previous reports than making new redundant ones, because it's just... They spend more time trying to spend more time consolidating than they do, you know, being able to actually address stuff. Small steam turbine, small steam piston. So like, yeah. So these are all together. Yeah, I put that on the Discord if you guys are interested in that. Star that, and then hopefully they'll see it, you know. But that's the best way to get it kind of done. Let's see what the... Boat's not sinking 5 days ago. Okay, so there's nothing new from yesterday, which is good, because they are sinking now, as I demonstrated in the beginning of the video, so... Alright, read some chat. Yeah, small steam boiler and furnace, like, would be really cool. Like, what I would love to have is, let's say... Oh, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. Maybe a 4 or 5 meter long boat with a tiny, like, I don't know what it would have to be. Let's say it was, I don't know, a 2 by 3, 2 by 3 furnace, right? A 2 by 3 boiler. That way you could attach it to the standard small pistons, and then maybe make a, oh, I don't know, a 1 by. Because for, let's say a 1 by, I don't know, 4 boiler maybe. So make it long but thin, giggity. And the benefit of that being that you could, you can make some small craft, and then you'd be able to have like a small 5 meter long steamboat, and just be able to go out, because there was a cool, it was in one of the Sherlock Holmes movies. They had a little steamboat. Let's see if I can find some small steamboat. And then you could do some other cool stuff. Like, here's what I'm thinking. So, like, this is, like, these small steamboats. Like, here's a tiny little steamboat. Like, look at this thing. I've been wanting to make one of these the entire time Steam's been out, and I can't because the parts. Like, tiny little steam runabout here. That's the steam setup to there. So if you had those smaller parts, you could make a setup like this. Would be really super cool, That'd be a really cool thing to be able to do. Like, looking at some of these other, like, here's one. Like, these guys running in this little boat. This would just be a lot of fun, to be able to do this. I wouldn't be sitting up against the boiler like that. But, like, stuff like that, you got something a little bit bigger. You could always scale up if you wanted. You could put, 2 furnaces. But, like, something like this just is super cool. Why can't I open the image? It doesn't want to open this image. But, like, something like that is just super cool to me. That would be really a lot of fun, I think. Small jet turbines would be cool. That'd be really nice. Okay. Oh, shit, I fell off. I'm in the drink, people. There we go. I'm out of the drink. Professional here. Professional here. Yeah, like a little puffin' steamboat to go out, It'd be really cool. Trying to read chat. Trying to read chat. There is one thing I would like is the ability to add to the bud track. Okay, yeah, add screenshots. Yeah, you can just put an imager link is what I usually do. It would be nice, but, you know what would happen. They would plaster an embedded image in there of something raunchy or fuck the devs or something like that. They put a picture of that in. At least if it's an imager link, you have to click on the link and exit the site to view it. So I could see why they wouldn't want embedded pictures. You got to think about the worst person. That's what you got to think about all the time is who's the worst person, what is the worst person going to do, and you have to try to prevent for the worst person, How's it going there, Visky? Custom boilers. If you heat up fresh water in an enclosed area. Interesting, yeah. That'd be cool, yeah. Yep, that's the boat's job, is to not sink. Yeah, like the little, I have not played Red Dead, but I've seen the videos of the little steamboats are cool, yeah. Yeah, that sort of stuff would be cool. Oh, there we got a fish on. You know, and the thing is, oh geez, if I could talk. The thing is, with small parts, you can always have multiples to make it more powerful. So you could still fill that. You could still have super small and then fill the niche of medium size. But like the boiler itself is huge and the parts are heavy, and so like you can't make anything small. Check my money. What about it? It's going up. It's interesting. Why is my money going up? Somebody doing something untoward? Let's see. Where the hell is everybody? Somebody doing something untoward? Yeah, it went up $100. Did you drop a fish off? Okay, he's at the fish market. Okay. Yep, Tripper could make us some small little steam crafts. No, that's fine. Fine, Cameron. I gave you the benefit of the doubt. We had a full-on troll here earlier, so if you heard me talking trolls, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about we had another dude in here who got booted for his crimes. But yeah, that was fine. I took it as a snarky joke, so I made a snarky comment back. But the fishing's nice and relaxing. It's good stuff. How full are we? We gotta be getting there. Let's see. Yep, we got 4 more fish to get. This is a good capacity. What did you say your capacity was, Citrus? Like 500? My God. Like 500 would be good for fishing nets. 500 would be good for pots. But oh my God, to hand fish 500 fish, even with we've got what? How many people are in there? 3 other people? 4 people total. It's taken us a little while to fill up 80. You know, and it's kind of nice to run back the dock every once in a while. You know. Oh, your storage 25. Okay. Yeah, I thought somebody said their storage was like 500. Like, oh my God. I think I started this boat with a medium, and medium's 250. I think so. It was excessive. Now with this, it's 80. So it's not bad. You know, the ability to put them on you, you could hold up to what, 8 fish on your person too. So. How's it going, Zachy? Good to see you, Zachy. Not too much. I started the episode talking about sinking ships and how they are, in fact, you can sink ships. And how to do it and how to make sure that it's working. And if you must sink a ship that's not sinking, you can put the Ship Sinker 5000. So I'm going to put out a video later. I will have the Ship Sinker 5000 attached and my test boat. You know. I had somebody ask me how my sinking cube worked that I put on the workbench a couple days ago. It literally has one button on it. You press one button and it operates. That's why I didn't put directions, and it just sinks. But I'm also curious if people have their physics set to low if shit is not sinking either. Because like some people are like, I'm still trying it and it's not sinking. And I'm like, I'm curious if they have their physics set to low. Oh, yes. I thought you had changed boats, too. So, yeah, it was the first boat at 500. But that would be good for, like, a pot boat. No, and I don't mean drugs. But to have, like, fishing pots, like, 500 would be a good thing. Because let's say you get 10 per pot. You know, you only need 50 pots to fill it. You know, nets, you know, 500, you'd probably fill pretty quick, so... But that's the cool thing, is if we get those other commercial types, it's going to start to give you a variety of boat where you have a small boat where you do line fishing, maybe some trolling, and then you have a bigger boat that can handle pots, and then you have, you know, a huge pot boat, or you have a, you know, a huge boat for nets that can just hold a lot. You know, it would be kind of cool. What are we in here? We have more than 80 in here. I thought our capacity was 80. What's our capacity in here? Can't remember. I'm taking fish on, so it's got to be around there. Okay. All right, let's head back. Everybody, when they're ready, we can wait till Ginger James Bond is done. Such is gonna get a slap here. Oh, there we go. Where is it? Oh, see if we can get a professional docking job going here. And the Ginger James Bond. Alright, so coming in here to dock, I'm going to start pulling back the starboard screw. That's going to cause us to start twisting to port. And then I'm going to actually go rudder toward the dock. Oh, I actually accidentally went in reverse. That's fine. And then we're going to zero out. Alright, and now I want to go straight back pretty much. So I want to come to the right a little bit, so I'm going to come back just on the port screw. So the port screw is going to both pull me straight back, and it's also going to move me a little bit to the north. There. All right, down. There we go. Up, don't watch it. You're pushing the boat. Just lift it up just a hair. Just a hair. All right, that's good. Let me maneuver it. Just stay where you are. You just give it a quick tap. I got to move up just a hair, so I'm just going to go port screw, just gently, because I want to twist the boat and go forward at the same time. There we go. All right, gentle down. That's good. All right, good, perfect. This makes a nice. It does make a very pleasing slapping noise. You could join, Aaron, if you like. Do you still have the password? Go ahead and join. It's the same password that I sent out to you guys last time. So after that, Zachy did some quick couple rescues, and then talked about like how you can get new fuel for your base, work on a jerry can at some point, and then we're now fishing. Yep, there is spearfishing. Yep, it works. It's pretty cool. There you go. Raise that sucker up. All right, everybody on board here? Yeah, Aaron, if you'd like to join, you can. Just, I think you still have the password, right? Yeah, I sent it to you. I checked the password on your comment, I think. Oh, so yesterday's episode, Aaron, I did a rescue, and I didn't have a defibrillator on that boat, so one of the guys was incapacitated. I put him on the floor of the boat, and as I was traveling, they slid back, and they got eaten up by the propeller, so I put that big spray of blood behind the boat, so it was awfully metal. Yeah, you can do some really cool things with asymmetrical thrust on boats. That's why I pretty much always have a twin screw, is I can just really maneuver exactly where I want. You know, twin screws and a bow thruster, you can pretty much go anywhere, you know. You know, starting to get into azipods, you can do all sorts of really cool stuff with azipods. Listen, Dr. Flashlight. I should carry one gun with me for whoever flashes their flashlight at me. Got spear gun for his crimes. Oh, he's died. I didn't know he died. All right, I gotta go get Ding Dong back here. There's flashlight crimes. I have everything on dark mode, and here he is spamming me with the flash. Come on, bring it back to the workbench. There we go. I'm gonna say, don't drown me to death here. Did I get it? No, I can't. I got the fishing rod on me. Shit. Yeah, let's just do this. I'll go rescue Ding Dong here for his crimes. Alright, where is the defrab? Where is he? What's this funny? He respawn? Just did all that work for nothing? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Oh, you can't respawn? Hmm. What happened to your body? Why do you... It said you had 9 minutes. Oh, there he is. Put his ass back. Yeah, you can't because you're still in the world here. There we go. It's trying to... You went into the drink here. Are you full health? Here. Heal yourself up. There's that. Drop that flashlight. Your flashlight privileges are revoked. Drop that flashlight. Your flashlight privileges are revoked. There you go. Perfect. Oh, somebody threw them in the water. They were disposing of my crimes. Oh, good on you. Appreciate it. It's good to know who will help fix me and my crimes. Yep, flashlight license has been revoked. License to flash. Where's the fishing rod? Did I lose the fishing rod? That's not a big deal. Nope. Alright, let's get rid of that. Sorry, guys, if I'm slowing you down when I'm in the workbench here. It's a little tiny little boat. Where is it? How did the little tiny boat go? There's a micro skiff. Up there's the fishing rod. There it is. Okay. It was on a different build, so it took it. It's actually pretty good, man. I could sit out here on a seat and fish. I didn't know I could do this. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I wonder if this boat's light enough if the fish will pull me. Yeah, this is the micro skiff with no glitches. It's all real good stuff, yeah. I pulled the fishing rod up. Let's get a fish going. Nope, that one went right in my face. There we go. Extinguish all fires? Maybe we'll go do a mission. Where the hell is that? Gotta be close. Oh, that's at beginner base. Yeah, we'll go do that. May just catch one quick fish. We'll go put that fire out. De-rib me. You sacrifice yourself with a bomb, you also sacrifice the rest of us. Alright, I'm gonna go grab Brigeau. And yeah, go grab Brigeau and we'll whoever wants to go to the fire, we can head over the fire. It'll be a good test of multiplayer if somebody wants to stay here fishing and go do multiplayer or go do the fire. Yeah, this micro skiff's kind of fun just to bop around with. It's got the most basic of logic just to run this panel, that's it. It actually operates like, I think I had this in 100% wind, it still operates. It's a little bit fly, but it's still pretty good. Okay, let's grab our show, we'll go do that mission. Alright, whoever wants to come on the mission can come on the mission. Whoever wants to stay and fish can fish. Or come over there and pick up whoever wishes to come. Wait, what are you no-clipping for? I'm coming to pick you up. Citrus is rescuing. Are you staying there, Ginger Bond? Ginger Bond's coming. Everybody can come if they want. You guys can do whatever you want. Alright. Oh, it was lagging, yeah. I couldn't tell. Sometimes it looks the same to me. So whoever wants to fight the fire, there's a firefighting suit here in the main cabin. We can either use the hose or there's fire extinguishers depending on how far it is. Uh oh, he's got the hose out. So dark. I think it's you. Let's see. Nav lights are on. Oh, with flash. Read some of this chat here. Found a mod for an impeller that emits RPS and small steam parts in Stormloader. Remember? Yeah. I don't use any of the mods. Mods are cool, but I need the game to like be from the beginning mod compatible. I would like them to add most of the vanilla. Try to play mostly vanilla. I play entirely vanilla, but I'll XML some stuff here and there. But it's mostly just cosmetic. A little bit of a mission here. Multiplayer mission. Gotta pick on that. I don't know what it's like when I go in the camera. Do you guys pause when I go in camera mode? Okay, you're at beginner. Yeah, we're headed there now. I have not yet. I have to do that. I think I have a version of the Frogfoot on my Pays and Says that's vanilla, but I'll have to go back and work on those at some point. Okay, it's right at the end of the spawn area, so you probably can hit it with the fire hose when we get close. Somebody else's flashlight privilege is about to get revoked. Let's shut these spots off. I don't need bio spots and stern spots on. Arc that shit up there, son. Go ahead and jump off with it and see if you can reach it. Yay, money. That works. All right, all aboard. We missing one? Are we all on board here? We missing one? Captain Leroy, are you here jumping on too? Nope, nope, don't give me a flashlight. Flashlight privilege revoked. Yeah, I'll make a video on pneumatics. I plan on doing a hydraulics and pneumatics video. The devs were nice and responsive to that. Is everybody on board here? Am I missing anybody? I'm ready to leave here. I don't want to leave without anybody. Whoever's dancing, why don't you get on the boat here? I do know where the spirit gun is. Aaron, why don't you jump on board here? Yeah, I'll make a video for them. They were responsive to my video and some other videos that people made, so you know, I'll do that and make a video on hydraulics and pneumatics. I have some experience in hydraulics and pneumatics with with airlines and with tractor trailer for pneumatics especially, but be good to get that in. I have a bunch of construction equipment with hydraulic experience too, so it'd be kind of good to do a video on that. What's he doing? He can teleport. We're gonna move. What's that in the water? Oh, flashlight. Okay, good. He was stuck in the dancing loop. I think that's hit the citrus before it was dancing and got stuck. Yeah, but people have been asking for turbos for a long time. It's it seems like a really long time, but they're working on major updates. They talk about 4 majors this year, so if you figure it's 1 each quarter, and so they have to work on the major update, plus they have to work on minor updates. They have to work on bugs, so, where it seems easy, like, oh, this is the most important part to me, why don't you add it right now? Put it in the context of, like, first of all, you've got many different players who the most important thing to them is something different. And then they're also working on major updates, and they're also working on another game. So they have a lot going on. So some of the builds that are like, oh, this should only take an afternoon to do, that's fine if they had the time too. So, I hope we get it though. I would love to see a brake block, just like, make it look like a electric motor or a generator, and all you do is feed it a brake number, and it will brake RPS. I would like to also have a PTO shaft. So the ability to, send the rotation through to do PTOs and have it actually physically rotate. So kind of like a pivot, but it would have, you would feed it RPS instead of electricity. And then the other one, it would take the RPS, so you could pass PTO shafts through stuff. That would be really cool. Like you'd be able to do that for your drive shafts of everything. That would be really, really cool. That's okay. Yeah, just no clip to or teleport to North Harbor. I figured you were. You know, a couple times people have gotten stuck in that animation, and it's usually they're lagged out. So Amanda's wetting the floor. What RGB color do you have on your instrument panel lights? It's just the standard green, the medium color green on the regular color palette. I'm gonna probably save us when I get back, because I haven't saved in a little while, so I'll save it as a backup in case something happens. Alright. All off board. That's what you call a nice docking procedure there, people. Look at that. Nice. Alright, enough with that. You're going to have your fire extinguisher privileges revoked as well. Alright, everybody off. I'm going to go put this away. I'm going to save up. Pull it up if we need it, but get rid of it for lag purposes. Yeah, we haven't had really any issues, so, with the multiplayer here. Oh, shit. I fell off the helm. There we go. Fell off the helm. Accidentally pressed F when I was trying to recall it, and that was going to cause problems. Now, I'm just going to quickly save a backup. Alright, now the backup saved. I'll be right back. I'm going to go use the facilities. Alright, I've returned. Yeah, checks in the mail. Let's see, what are we talking fish here? 11. Have one on me? I do. I don't believe so, no. Just shows message retracted. Forgot to put my sous vide in, so I'm going to start my chicken cooking, and takes 2 hours, so yeah, make sure I start it. Not really. Just fishing to the rescue. I ran in the kitchen to turn on the sous vide before I forget, and then I have to have something else for dinner. Captain Leroy's rebooting, see if that works. On your own, you can do what you like. You behave and not flash people in the eyes. Welcome back to Weekly Update video. This version 1.10. Welcome back to Weekly Update video. This version 1.10.3.
That's it. Probably player scav. He's fucked.
Yeah, there are a bunch of people like criticizing the devs that they just used hoppers for this, but it's like, I talked about it the other day. It was like, they even show in the update for fishing that they're using a regular dump truck to dump fish, and so it's do you make an extra part that just holds fish, that the only thing it does is hold fish? It's like having a monotasker. Is why have the monotasker when you can just use a hopper that uses everything else? It's like make one part that does it. It's like, it's just kind of complaining for the sake of complaining, I think, for that one. It's literally like most of the fish wells in these types of commercial ships are just a hole in the floor, It dumps it into a tank. What's wrong with Aaron? Why is he dead? Where is he? What's his 20? Where is he? He was trying to reboot in. Like, are you being facetious, or was he actually die in game? Underneath the North Story dock. Okay. Why is he under there? Where the hell is he under there? Okay, why are you under there? You saved him? Okay. Right here. Ugh. How's respawn? Allowing respawns back on. So let's just respawn and... Okay. Aaron, can you respawn now? Oh, you spawned in dead? Okay. Let's see. I set on allow respawn. Let me shut off player damage. Try it again. Might have to drop out if you can't respawn. Do it again because I changed the setting after you already died, so I might have to drop out of the game and drop back in. There's a helicopter going, a beginner again. Frick. Here we are, officer. How are you? Can you pick what base you spawn at? You spawn at beginner, then no clip over if you can. If it's too desync, it might not work. I don't know. What is this mission? Wind turbine engineer. Okay. That's too bad. Alrighty. Alright, play for a little bit and then we'll wrap up here. Yeah, well, let's play for another like 10 minutes, then we'll just wrap up. We'll get some IRL stuff done. That is good to hang out with everybody and fish. Well, I hope she gets better. Glad you're it's helping. Yep, thoughts with you. Hope she gets better soon. Yes. Yes, Amanda. Yeah, heli coming to land here. Is that what it's doing? I'm trying to do my side peek like in Tarkov. That's hilarious. That one usually lands. I think that's pretty open landing area for that one. Plus the wind is on low. The wind's off, so there's no wind to contend with. Sometimes I think it's the wind that is. I think these are just built by people, and like if you built a build that's not intended for high wind, it might just go, see you later. Or Amanda goes and no clips into it and causes problems. Yeah, they do. Sometimes it gets crazy. The way they drop into is like the vehicle spawns in, and sometimes it never recovers. You know, like it'll spawn in and fall, it'll start falling on the ground. If it can't recover in time, it just, ugh. There we go. All right, let's go deliver these fish, and I'll wrap up. All right, pull them lines in. Flashlight. Have to go listen to the George Clinton song after you play with your flashlight too much. All right, let's empty. No, no more down. Just come across first. All right, good start bringing it down. Down. Down, 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 down. Left, left, left. Bring it left, and you should be able to put it right on top. Left more. Keep going left. Keep going left. Keep going left. Keep going. Keep going. Is that it? Okay. Nope, you can keep going left. Keep going left. Alright, right there. Leave it there. I'll move it. Alright. Don't move it. I'm moving the ship. There we go. Alright. Take it easy there with that. Pushing us down in the water. Okay, see how you're pushing us in the water? It's not. Alright, that's the fish. So you're gonna help me? Okay. Alright, everybody off. Alright, good. Alright, that was fun. Good to get some multiplayer fishing back in there. Alright, let's go ahead and I shall thank the members. So, thank you, Saturn Mountain, Connor Boyle, Danny, Sergeant Chaos, Aaron Perzol, Erasmus, Mandiviar, Citrus, and Anton Anderson. Thank you for resubscribing, Citrus. Thank you, Chicken Sword, for being a patron. If you guys are interested in either becoming a member or a patron, you can check the description below. Anybody new here who is not subscribed, if you enjoyed, please consider subscribing. And if you guys liked the video, if you liked it, I would appreciate that. Thanks, guys, for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye. Thanks, guys, for hanging out, too.